Yeah, I have no idea what the hell that was about. Yeah, this version of OBS for Mac OS X is a little bit goofy. Requires some kind of extraneous siphon inject module, which I don't know the particulars of. I'd prefer to be doing this in Windows, but uh, I don't have a camera that's external, so until I decide that I want to pony up for that, this will have to do. Um, but I think that everything is finally in place now, so hooray! So, I'm Sean, this is Factorio, and I'm going to be playing with 5dim collection of mods. Uh, it's one of the 3 major mod collection packs, I guess 4, Uoki deserves a mention. But there's Ditech, Bob's, 5dim. Ditech and Bob's are more extreme. They're more oriented towards changing the processes of creating objects and doing different things in the game, whereas 5dim simply extends existing mechanics. It doesn't really add very much that's different from the core gameplay. I mean, hell, just offhand, the only thing I can think that's like new is Mashers, which extends the ore processing. But outside of that, 5dim is pretty much just Factorio, but more. So that's why I like using it. In addition to that, in fact, I'll go ahead and pull up the mod list of what's loaded. You can see the 5dim packs, of which there's many. They all just address the different aspects of the game, but at the end of the day, it's all just more Factorio that you'd be otherwise familiar with if you played the vanilla game. But outside of that, most of the mods that are also loaded are simply visibility mods. There are a couple of convenience mods. The one major change mod is Endless Resources. I just decided that going with Endless Resources in 5dim gives the most potential for just going really, really big fast. I mean, not to say that you can't do mega factories using just base configuration or one of the other mod packs, because you certainly can. I've made some pretty large factories just using the base configuration alone. But I don't want to spend 200 hours getting to the point where it's impressive. I just figured go big quickly and it would be more entertaining, both for me and for anybody foolish enough to run into this stream. So that's the other big change, is 5dims and endless. Otherwise, like I said, it's mostly display stuff. Evolution factor indicator, clock, assembler light. These all just show things on the screen, extra info. Same with advanced logistics system. I don't even use logistics that much. I like belts better than bots. But I like having the extra info there. Same with yet another resource monitor fork. And finally, the FARL. I mean, I think that's pretty much a standard. If there's not some variation of that in 13, I'll be quite surprised. So, anyway, enough about the mods that are going into the play. Just to make it interesting, I'm going to start a new game. Just leave everything as is. Start it as is, play whatever map happens to fall down, and chips fall where they may, kind of thing. So, I guess let's see what we get to play with tonight. So, Doc, lighten that up a little bit. There we go. Pull back real quick. And as you can see, I have the grid enabled. I like it. Makes it easy to eyeball the distances between different items as I'm going to put them down. So this is actually a really, really nice spot in terms of defensibility. Minimap's getting cut off on the view here. Let me see if I can fix that up for folk. It's the first time I've actually gone into game with this configuration, so hey, I have to see what the hell is going on with it as well. May as well pause it. There we go. Pull this up a right quicker. I see the problem. The game window is extended all out to hang on. Alright, things are going to get a little weird here. Hang on, folks. Hang on. Hold on with me. It's going to be okay. I'm right here with you. I'm right here with you. I know it's all fucking freaky style. But we're going to make it. We're going to make it. Just got to stick together. It's going to be okay. Alright. little sanity returning to the world here. Let's squish this down just a wee bit. Hey, and we have the bottom of the screen. Holy shit. It's almost like there's a complete game there. For some reason, it is a little bit clipped, so I'm going to center this up. And motion sickness should be alleviated now. Hooray! A whole lot of hooray going on tonight. But you know what? It's all good, because we're going to play some video games. Alright, cool. So, we're all set. We're all centered up. So here we have, as you can see in the mini-map, we have a very, very defensible area. A lot of water in the midst of it, but that's okay because essentially we can cut off this section here with walls and turrets, and we're protected on the entire eastern front. North and south are all water boundaries, so as long as this stretch here, which is also easily defensible because there's this waterway sitting in the middle, which cuts off a lot of it. Got a couple nice little oil patches sitting in the midst, a couple big copper patches. Got a nice little patch of iron over here. Not huge, but there's another one nearby, so it'll be easy enough to get to. And then it looks like a couple smaller ones over here as well. As long as we get a decent bit of stone, which I see a nice little stone patch down here, I think this is actually going to be a bit of a cakewalk. Which is okay. Frankly, I'd like to have a little bit of a cakewalk on my first stream because, well, this is a learning experience for me. I've played a shitload of Factorio, but it's the first time I've ever actually done any significant streaming of it, so if I'm gonna pop me cherry and try to take it easy on some front. So got a little bit of a coal patch here, got copper here, got iron here. Seems like this is going to be a good place to get the starter burners going. Let me see if I can actually kill this grid view, because it's kind of screwing up the ability to see things better. As much as I like it. There we go. Anybody who's not familiar, by the way, there's this, if you hit the F4 button, you get this list. And, it says debug settings, but frankly, some of this stuff should actually just be in the regular settings. Like, for example, this grid view. I think it's fantastic. I think it's just be included as part of the game. So we got some nice wooded area over here to start pulling things out of. We're going to have to peel off some of this, obviously, in order to get the wall and initial turret line in, because we do have a little bit of a bug cluster here. So once the pollution starts spreading, it's going to quickly go down there. Doesn't look like we have a hell of a lot of trees sitting in the midst of that. So that's going to be the earliest area of concern. Otherwise, it doesn't look like there's a hell of a lot of traffic going on up and over here. We'll find out more once we get our first radars up and start seeing what the hell's going on. So let's go and zoom in a little bit. Make it easier to start placing some initial shiatsu. Find the nearest stone patch. Well, first, get me trusty iron tool ready, because I don't do that slow mining bullshit in order to conserve 3 or 4 iron. Don't care. Looks like that stone patch that was over here might be the closest, which is a bit annoying, having to run all the way there for stone, but not prohibitive. So I'm going to come over here, grab the initial coal. I usually pull 11 coal to start, that way I can just drop 6 into the burner miner and 5 into the furnace and start getting the iron processing, because with that you can get enough iron plates to get the initial burner miners for coal processing and even stone. So I'm not silly ass over here. Drop this bad boy on here and 1 furnace. Alright, get half of that, drop it in there, and drop it in there. Let that go for a bit. In the meantime, I'm gonna need some stone in order to create the other burner miners. So run over here to the stone patch. Oh, there's one just a little bit close. Actually, there's one even a little bit closer than that. So we got there's a little tiny one up here as well. Not much to speak of, but that's the nature of stone, which I find absolutely hilarious. Massive copper patch, little tiny bit of stone. What kind of fucked up world is this? Whatever. Oh, and I see a little tiny nub of stone over there, over to the west, which is cool. I mean, because really, at this early stage of the game, I'm just looking for resources that are close together, so I don't have less wasted time running around and more time producing. But I got a little bit of time to kill right now anyway, because I got to let that initial iron develop in order to get those first burner miners going. There we go. That's a beaut. Now let's go ahead and grab us 2 of these bad boys and get the perpetual coal processing going. Get the Kickstarter coal. Now, I'm actually gonna. I'm already starting to try to think of where I want to put my initial bus. It's not going to be the main, obviously, because there's just not enough room over here, and got a lot of development to go before I can get to that point anyway. But I do want to make life a little bit easier when creating the initial techs. The initial research nodes, transport belts, uh, ammunition. Those are pretty much the keys to the beginning of the game. Is just getting that stuff in place so that I can set up the security boundaries, and then get the initial infrastructure built out. Get the initial technologies, especially the automation and logistics. Get the turrets out as well. Obviously, they're not going to last very long if the bugs start rolling in, and I don't have any turrets ready, so a little high on the priority list. Oh, fuck me. Forgot to grab some coal. Got the perpetual coal rolling. I just forgot to actually pick some up. So, I'm going to rip the coal out of there. Yeah, it's funny. You can actually get the timing of pulling the coal out of those down so perfectly that if you grab them at just the wrong time, they'll run out, which I find weird because here they are generating coal and handing them each other, but there's some way where you can grab all the coal out of them, and I don't know if it's just because they're just refreshing or whatever, but I've had it to where I've pulled the coal out and then both of them stop dead. Which I find strange because the whole idea is they're just extracting more and handing it to each other, but something that I always keep an eye out for when I'm grabbing from it. So I'm going to flip on the detail. Oh, I already had the detail going. Something I do like to have on so that I can see what each item is producing or not producing, which that's my bigger concern. Is like, hey, why the hell is that not showing anything? Also get the initial copper going now. It's not something that's needed right away, but I try to get to electricity fairly fast, so I do want to make sure that you get plenty of electronic circuit fodder for the inserters on the steam engines. There we go, got plenty of them. And now I need more stone, yay! So now I'm going to throw down a couple more minor furnace combos for iron, because obviously that's the big dog. My eyeball. Oh, I'll get your eyeball. The freaking dust. Oh my god. Yeah, I set it, like, you can obviously see the background, the game behind me. I set up I had essentially green cloth from like Linens and things, or Joanne. Well, one of those fucking fabric places, I don't even know. I had it sitting around, and it's like, alright, I'll go ahead and pop that up there and at least get the chroma background up so it's not blocking out like a quarter of the bloody screen. I mean, I was going to omit video altogether, but I'm not a big fan of being in front of a camera. It's not something I'm used to or comfortable with, but I figured I'm streaming the damn thing. I may as well do it right. So, those two. So I need more stone. Yay! More stone is needed. Actually, they're slacking. Getting caught up trying, and this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to go too crazy on the first game I streamed on, because I knew a big part of the work that I would be putting into it is actually getting used to simultaneously playing and babbling. Not something I'm used to. I mean, not to say I don't talk to myself a lot, but it's usually not targeted towards anything specific. It's more freeform blathering bullshit, or singing to myself horribly, or whatever the case may be. Point being that it's not intended for audiences outside of this room, and therefore it's not something I normally have to put much thought into. I'm just going to go ahead and put the burner on this little nub, because the whole purpose of this is simply to start collecting some stone without me having to hammer on that goddamn node, because that'll just annoy me to no end. Of course, there's not much coal in there, so I need to get around it quickly, and that's okay. That is okay. I'm going to grab the copper out of it. just so I have some for some initial development in case anything else I want to be doing on that front. My biggest concern right now is just getting raw materials producing. It really comes down to bolstering the iron stocks. Oops, actually, there we go. Perfect. Let's see if I can grab a little bit more. Yeah, I got enough for a second one. Cool. Yeah, I usually like to get 3 iron burners going. Burner miners and furnace combos. I'm lazy with my speech, so I just call them burners. I like to get 3 of these going. Do I have any coal? There we go. All right, cool. Because that usually seems to be good enough to get the initial production out of the way until I can get the electricity in place and start getting some real mining done. Set up that initial main bus, etc., etc. Like I said, my first bus is usually very loose. It's very not bussy. A lot of times I'll simply start. I'll put inserters right off of the initial furnaces and run a line off of there. Because the real concern right now is haste. There is this bug node sitting over there, and wanderers do wander. And if they come in now, I mean, I got a pistol. Not gonna do a hell of a lot of good. So I do want to start prepping for moving ahead. But problem is research requires electricity, which means I got to generate or put together the whole electricity train. And I try to do the initial run in like one shot. Because yeah, you can do like your pump, a couple of boilers, one steam engine, good to go, manually insert the coal. But I don't want to go back and do all that bullshit later. So I try to get the materials necessary to do 1 pump, 14 boilers, and then some pipes, just to have that piece ready for all future development off of that particular string of steam engines. I may only put like 1 or 2 engines up front, but that's okay. As long as it's simply a matter of building more engines later and slapping them onto the ass end, all gravy, baby. No fucks given. Speaking of, start thinking, oh my god, look at that, more stone nodes. And another one over here. Oh, man. For being full of water in the way, this is actually a really, really nice starting spot. Yeah, I was just going to take whatever the hell happened to come. I mean, if it didn't happen to have any iron nearby, well, it sucks, but it was going to be a running. But no, made out really, really good with this one. I'm happy with this. Very, very happy. In case you're curious as to like endless resources, like how does that actually work? Notice that when I highlight the copper miner, instead of telling me the number of resources remaining, it's telling me number of resources per second. In the default configuration of endless resources, that will start usually around 1 second or so and then start dropping over time. I just have it set to flat rate. I didn't. I wanted this run not to be micromanaging resources, because that's it's certainly fun setting up all the outposts and everything. And it's not to say I wouldn't end up doing it here anyway, because it's just fun to do. I got to grab some gold. But I wanted more of the focus just to be on going big. That was really it. Just develop big stuff. Without just hey, I'll just go to the console and spawn a bunch of shit. Because I'm sure there's like some console commands where I can get about 12 million materials and just have everything instantly built or something, but I didn't want to go that route. I wanted to go through the process of building a factory. We always call it factories, even though it's like in the big outdoors. Whatever. Building out a factory, but reducing a lot of the grunt work that goes into it. There we go. So we got our 14 boilers. Get the initial power poles up as well, and there we go. And a couple underground pipes. And that right there is going to be sufficient. Get a couple steam engines as well. But that is going to be sufficient for getting the initial electricity generation going. And then rack up a bunch of belts, because I'm going to need to run coal up to the power plant, which I'm thinking I'm going to put right along here, despite the stone being in this area, because I know I'm going to want to mine that stone and pull it through, but one of the reasons why I put the gap here, in fact, I can just go ahead and start putting that in. This thing's rather cool. Hang on a sec. See if I have any. Yep. Let's keep the stone producing. I don't want that. Sorry, getting a little dry. A little Jack and Coke Zero will make this go a whole lot smoother. Yeah, just drool it all over myself. Blah, blah, blah. I have a drinking problem. Oops. I'm trying to keep it zoomed out so you can see more of the big picture, but I need to start zooming in some of the details for them. But yeah, I slap a underground pipe here just so that I have a little bit of room to see what do. Now, sometimes I'll go 2x7 or 2x5, and sometimes I'll go 10 straight. In this case, there's nothing along this path that I'm really worried about sitting on top of, and so I'm going to go 10 straight, because then I can do like rows next to that and just have like a single coal belt, which will only get fed off of the other boilers. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about there, it'll make sense soon. But, oh, where's my single pipes? Could have sweared I created a few of those as well. Oops. Shit. I actually meant to put one of them there first. Just to put some zeros. Because later on, one of the things with 5DIMMs, like I said, it's more of everything factorial. And that means that there's Mark II and Mark III boilers and Mark II and Mark III steam engines. But they require a lot more water. So that means I'm going to have to put a bigger offshore pump on there. And I'm going to have to replace this piping with faster pipes. That still won't move enough water through, so I'm going to also have to put water pumps along this stretch in order to keep the pressure up along the line enough to actually generate power. So I throw these straight pipes in there, and then after every 2 engines, I'll end up throwing another straight pipe as well, because those will be replaced by water pumps once I upgrade these steam engines with the higher level equipment that will require the larger amount of water flowing through there. But for now, this will be fine. And now, speaking of now, oh shit, they need them inserters. They need a lot more material. This initial phase always just kind of... It always feels like it drags out a bit. And there's that element of pressure because gotta get things developed. The Midas is coming. And sometimes I'll just play on peace mode just for the sake of being able to try out different combos and different orders of operation and wacky things without having to deal with those goofballs. Because frankly, they don't really add a lot of fun to this for me. I mean, like, I get it that, hey, at least there's some challenge there. And in terms of being on a stream, it's like, if there's no possibility to watch the dude lose, I could see it probably not being terribly interesting. So, just for you, I'll deal with it. But the biter dynamic is actually the least entertaining part of this game for me. It's just, it's like, oh, there's that annoyance I gotta go deal with again until I get back to doing the shit I wanted to do. But I get it. I don't have any complaints, and I'm certainly not dogging the developers in any way for putting them in. And I'm sure they have other plans based around that as well. Sorry, goofy scrolling action there. Using a magic mouse, which is kind of shitty, actually. I have an MX Master that I use for my PC, and I'm very tempted to pull the dongle out and put it on here, just so that I can use it with this, but I'm used to actually playing on this laptop, but I typically do so with a couple of these, because I'm going to loop this up through there. Let's extend out. 1, 2. Sorry, just doing a little planning for later. When I start building out other rows, I'll actually feed them off the same belt lines, so I want to leave enough room that I can start stacking multiple rows of coal along there if I need to. But I'm actually used to playing on this particular MacBook Pro. It's a late 2013, so it's got a complete shit video card, and yet look at how smoothly this game plays. Like, I have nothing but kudos to. Fuck me, this mouse is gonna drive me to drink. I'm gonna have to go to the trackpad. But I have nothing but kudos to offer for the developers because, oh my god, this game performs so smoothly, just so incredibly smooth, given how much activity is going on, like how many different moving parts and so many different things are in play, and yet I've never ever had slowdown problems even on this Apple piece of shit. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, huge respect to the developers for the technical feat alone. Like not just for building the game that I always wanted to play, but for doing it well. From a software engineering standpoint, job well done, sirs, ma'ams. Whoever happened to be involved in the process. I'm not interested in your genitals. I'm just digging on your game. So let's go ahead and run this down to the coal pit. Now coal looks to be my most scarce resource. I'm not seeing any other patches in the nearby area, but then again, I haven't wandered around. Looks like there may be another patch over here by the copper. Gonna have to drag my fat ass over there to actually see what I can see at the bottom of the blue sea. But for now, let us get a couple of electric miners ready. And get that lab ready. Because I think everything is in place. Oh, except for one key element. Power poles. I really want that on the side, okay. I want to put it on this side because I want to put inserters on the other side. I'll actually want to put inserters on the other side of these boilers as well later, but with the small power poles, options are limited in that regard. So I'm not terribly concerned about that. I'll end up replacing these later. For now, I just want to make sure I get everything interconnected. And then run the power poles down where they're going to start actually powering goods. Which is going to be right along here once I slap these fuckers in place. Make sure we're going to maximize the efficiency of this operation. Ooh. Jack and Coke Zero. Don't try this at home, kids. Who the fuck am I kidding? Yeah, max that up. I'm not your dad. I don't give a fuck. Do what you're gonna do. I mean, unless my daughter is watching this in case. Don't be a shit. Alright. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this one over now. I've got a lot of coal in my pocket, which will get me by for a bit until I get things developed out. So for now, I'm just gonna throw a bit of coal in these. There we go. And that'll be enough to get the initial miners going. So now they're pulling coal down the belt. These incredibly slow Mark 1 belts. But hey, gotta start somewhere. And that's going to be feeding the power. Alright, so now we have the initial electricity. Let's... you know what? I'm gonna put it over... Whoa! That was weird. Probably something to do with the streaming software. Actually, I'm gonna hold on to that for a sec, because just... I need a minute to work out where I actually want to place this bullshit. Because I'm going to need to pull inserters to yank this shit out of here. Like I said earlier, sometimes I'll just go ahead and put the initial assembly drawing directly after that. I'm not gonna worry about developing a main bus right away. Yes, I have been drinking, officer. But I do want to start getting some kind of automation in place, just so that I can expedite some of the creation of these items without having to run around and hammer on everything. Because that's just boring as balls. And really, that's the whole point of this game is friggin' automate the shit out of everything. You said everything? Everything. Fucking automate pistols. I don't give a fuck. get it all built. But initially, got to do things manually. So get the initial research done for automation, which will allow me to create the first automators. I'll have those start creating red science to get, most importantly, turrets, walls, logistics, and then once those are completed, got a little more room to maneuver because that gives the underground belts and the splitters, obviously the turrets and the walls, and then that allows the development of an actual bus and full automation of facilities. Because even after I get automators in place to start automating the science, I'm going to have to manually run my fat ass over here and grab copper plates to throw into those automators because I'm gonna leave all there. Because I have no way to get belts over there until I get logistics in place. So that's why the beginning of the game is just kind of a drag, because it's like everything needs to be done. It's just a matter of getting it out of the way. There's not oh shit! I forgot to run power over here. There's not a lot of room for doing interesting things. It's just getting shit out of the way. I mean, that's really all this part is about. So I got the sciences in there, and I'm waiting for the automation to be done. Sometimes in this stage, since I'm getting a whole shitload of materials in my pocket, in fact, I'm going to do it now. I'll go ahead and put the sciences in to get logistics as well. I mean, we have this one biter patch over here. The pollution is actually spreading over to them real soon, so I think we'll go turrets next. I would prefer to go logistics, start setting up actual paths, but safety first. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like playing with the biters. They're not fun. It's just, I got to deal with this. It's like a obligation to deal with before I can go do fun stuff. So I'll probably put down the first turrets along here. Got this goofy little path running through here, which means I gotta set the fences up along there so I don't somehow scurry between. And then I've got to put it in front of this water patch, so we'll skim right along here. And that looks like the initial protection there. So maybe 3 or 4 turrets might do it. Let's go ahead and get a second lab down so we can get the research done faster. But these I'm just going to throw in there, so boom, boom, boom. Go ahead and get the turrets done. So turret research out, and now I can also prep. I forget what screens are sometimes. Yeah, in the latest version of 5dim, he rearranged the screens, and I got used to playing on the earlier version, so sometimes I still gotta remember where shit is. Whatever, it's all fun. I think in 13 they're actually putting in search, so that'd be kind of neat. You can just punch up and have it pull up. Definitely looking forward to the 13 release. I hope they have a whole shitload of good stuff coming out. More Factorio es Muda. Love this game. Like this is the game that I always wanted to play. This is a game that I started to make. Oops, shit. That thing's not gonna be stocked for a while, so fuck trees. Everything taught you to fuck trees. Put that down. Oops. Put that down there. There we go. I started putting together like a 2D tile-based game engine just to be able to do something like this. Like this is well beyond anything that I had in mind. So huge major props to these fuckers for just doing an amazing job. But I wanted something where I could do like complex building. And I had like the Impression Game series of city builders in mind on that, so it was more high level, like city level research type thing that I had in mind. So this is a cool variation on that, where it's kind of the same style of gameplay, but it I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's like takes it to a higher level, which is ironic because it's like, oh, thinking of factory versus city, but it really does because this delves more deeply into the individual artifacts that are being produced at each site versus the building as a whole. Like for example, when you're playing something like Caesar 3, you put down a hospital. It's okay. It's providing hospital services. You're not really dealing with the inner workings of a hospital or the equipment inside or any of that bullshit. You just develop hospital resources. Whereas this, it's like, okay, well, we're going to get the gears, and then we're going to get the copper plates, and then we're going to slap it into this fucking machine, and then we're going to make cool stuff. Speaking of making cool stuff in this machine, I'm going to go ahead and put that shit in it. I'm just going to put that right here. This is going to be a very, very rudimentary initial producer of Red Science. Frankly, it's smaller than I would like to do right now, but I'm having a hard time concentrating between talking about the game and drinking. And what? Don't you judge me. So this is just going to be very lackadaisical. And so be it. It's still Factorio, so even a slack-ass day of Factorio is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Throw that up in here. Get the power going to this, and then start producing some turrets to go set up the initial defenses. Because the party poopers will be here soon. As they are wont to do. Oops, I need some more juice. So close. Oh, fucking. Actually, I need a couple more inserters for the labs anyhow. Let's get these connected up so they start producing the science. Oh, and then there we go. Like I said, have to manually populate it with the copper plates since I can't actually reach with said plates. There we go. Oops. Right there, and now can't automate turrets at all right now. It's simply not possible. Actually, hold off on that one because what I can automate and do need to automate right now is the bullets that go into said turret. So we get an automator up to do that. Beauty of automating bullets is the only fucking thing in the world that it needs is metal. Iron metal to be specific. So it's really, 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 really easy to automate. We get a couple of inserters. One to pull the metal in, one to put the product out. Just slap this fucker anyway here. Actually, I'm going to put this right here. Because I may even do a second one for bullets. Now, bullet production for me is a bigger deal than it would be for some. A lot of people just go straight to lasers and say fuck it. And I used to do that as well. Bullets are not really that hard to automate around your turrets. And once you do, you can really, really boost your damage output. Sorry, I lost track of everything there. Lasers are easy, particularly since you'll inevitably end up building massive solar farms and have more power than you know what to do with, which I'm not a huge fan of. I'm really hoping for more power options in future versions because I just don't find giant solar farms to be very compelling. But they do make putting out the lasers as your standard turrets really easy. And there's just not a lot of variety as far as what you can do with that. It's like, oh, laser turret's out, done. Moving on with life. Whereas with the bullet turrets, you get a lot more variety, particularly with the 5-dim, because there's multiple levels of gun turrets. It's not nearly as cool as like the gun mods for Ditech or Bob's, where it'll have specialized turrets, sniper turrets, and shit like that. So that's pretty cool. But you can get more powerful turrets. So you end up getting more powerful turrets and then put more powerful ammunition in them. Unfortunately, it's just bullets. So you get the regular bullets and then the armor-piercing bullets. It would be so cool if they got like shotgun turrets and shit like that. Fucking fully automated combat shotgun turret. That would be sick. I'm gonna actually, speaking of turrets, start putting out the turrets. I'm gonna put this one right here, and this is really just spitballing a location at this point because I don't know what path they'll actually follow once the pollution hits them, which will be very soon now. They could actually come through and cut into here, so gonna have to produce more turrets just to have shit ready for them. Got to deal with this initial delay in actually producing anything else before I can go get them. Although I do need to restock this shiatsu, so I'll have raw materials for building out more interesting stuff later. So put that in there. Make sure put that. That's on. That's on. Alright, cool. So I'll take all them stones. Not plenty of stone at least. What's that? Yeah, come down here and get these bullets. Now I got me a couple more turrets. Yeah, I may end up stretching this out just to get some more science producing along there. Typically, I would try to build it somewhere where I could end up getting my initial main research loop going. Yes, I build research loops. Suck it. I don't like having all the science stacking up on itself, so I just build the fucking loop. You know, some people are like, I got fucking loops. Whatever. Eat a dick. Some things I just I want to work well, and the science loop is a great design. That's an intuitive design. I mean, I think that's the reason why a lot of us, came up with it on our own, and then went and saw other people doing it. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, you got a fucking loop there. Just makes sense. All right. So, there we go. Get another turret out. And then I think that the initial defenses are okay. Unless we end up getting a surprise attack from the northern direction, which is certainly possible. I mean, looking up here, we can see there's no imminent threats that are apparent up there, but it can certainly happen. Wanderers gonna wander, and so they could just come wandering right through here, so I don't want to neglect the defense of that area altogether. But the clear and present danger is down here, so that's where my focus is right now. Alright. Excuse me. Oh shit, I forgot to hang that. Fuck it. Wait, what? Did I already do Logi 1? What? Maybe I did. I did Logistics 1 and didn't even notice. Just rambling away here. Alright. Well, in that case, carry on, my wayward son. Ah, well, there you go. Yeah, I did do Logistics. Ha 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 ha. Alright, cool. So, now, we can actually start developing the bus. Let me go ahead and get the not nearly enough iron that I feel comfortable doing that totally, because that's going to suck up all of the iron plates for anything else. But at the same time, I'm not sure I'm going to be hand making all of the. Fuck it. We're hand making transport belts by the dozens. And then figure out the placement of it. Now, placing it down this way and then have it run back this way looks pretty promising because there's no resources along this stretch. The coal feed is right here, so I can just bring the copper, have that left side, iron right side, coal down the center, split it between the two, and that'll give me enough of a main bus that runs along this stretch here to get the initial materials. Now, with the water on both sides, there's not much room for building, and that is really my primary concern here. But But if I do it strictly as a mining section through to here, then it may be more feasible to just simply use this whole spot here as a building area. Just have these lines run through and output the plates. So I'm thinking I might just go that route. Just bring the copper plates down here, cut them in this way. Just ends up being a long trip. This is such a narrow stretch that I'm only going to be able to do like one, maybe 2 columns of each, which is enough for initial. I mean, this is when you're building out your initial factory in Factorio, don't get hung up on the idea that, oh, this is my factory. No, that's just your initial chunk of factory. The odds are very, very strong that you'll end up building a bigger factory somewhere else later. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just going to do it 4 wide on the inside of the processing area for ores. Sometimes if the area is big enough that it looks like I'd be able to do like a Sirius bus off of it, I'll do it 5 wide right away, just leave room for electric furnaces, and then just use like a belt that would feed like so. So stick the furnace on the inside. Since these are 2x2s, I'd stick the furnace like this, and then actually have an inserter insert it onto this belt, which then feeds into the belt here. But in this case, I'm not seeing that shit happen. So I am simply going to have it run as a 4x4. Now, as I mentioned before, one of the additions in 5DIMMs is the masher. And I don't have mashers available yet. Have to research that. But mashers are 2x2. So by having the stretch run like so, I'll have ores run down the outsides here, and then when it's going to transition from the mashers, which will generate dust, copper dust or iron dust, I'll have that belt that's carrying the dust turn into the supply for the furnaces. So that way I can maintain this 4 wide corridor all the way down. There will just be a breakpoint on the outside lanes when it turns into furnacing. So I'm going to come down to right around where I'm expecting to end the furnacing part. And some belts here. Now for the initial bit, since I don't have the mashers, I'll actually just run the ore itself right up the middle. And then once I develop mashers, I'll break that off, split it onto the outside belts. This is just initial planning. This is more like blueprinting the actual layout than worrying about what's going to be used long term. It just uses up a lot of belts. The nice thing being that I'm going to have it in place, so I won't have to do it later. And here's the mashers I was talking about, but I need green science for those, plus the fact that actually building a masher, which they have a recipe here. Building a masher requires the stone bricks, and I don't have any bricks being smelted as of yet. I mean, obviously not that hard to do, particularly when I got stone floating around like this. But just not something I want to deal with developing right now. Oh, and I built all these belts backwards. Not paying attention. Fuck that one up too. There we go. So now we got them fixed up. Alright, cool. So I'm just going to do a single lane of copper there, but I will 2, 3, 4. I will go ahead and prep its other outer lane. Now, looking at the space available to this edge of water, it's not looking promising for doing 2 of both, so I'm going to go ahead and plan an iron one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is one of the reasons I like to have the grid open, because I can just look at the grid and see the width. I can usually eyeball it accurately, but I don't like laying down a bunch of belts and then finding out, oh, fuck, screwed that up. So I counted off good places. I'm going to have to go back and add more coal to the beasts, but I want to try to get this done quickly so that I can start producing the actual bus metals and not have to manually do bullshit anymore. But obviously there's going to be a bit more of that to be done just for the sake of getting more raw iron if nothing else. So, not a problem. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and ignore that, the outside lanes on those, because this is really going to feed initially until mashers are in play. What the fuck? Sorry, it's Magic Mouse. He's getting matured. I've got to build him through. I was left clicking when I was supposed to be right clicking. And I didn't even feel the right edge of the mouse under my fingers. I'm pressing down. Good job. Yeah, this Magic Mouse, I'm not a fan. I got it when I got the laptop. It's like the laptop itself, really good piece of hardware, and that was the main reason why I got it, for the battery life and for the touchpad that was reliable. Because I despise touchpads, hates them so much. But I'm an IT consultant, and I was working with technical term for it. Managed service provider, MSP. I was working for a managed service provider, so I'd go to different client sites and have to do assessments on their shit or troubleshooting, like the case may be. And the laptop I was using was just absolutely horrible. It was heavy. It was had the battery life like 45 minutes, and then it needed to recharge. It was just terrible, terrible piece of shit. Oh, that's weird. Why isn't that allowing me to? Oh, that one's done. Because I'm a dipshit, yay! So let's get the walls going. But yeah, that laptop would drive me crazy going to client sites because it's like, all right, let me check that. Oh, and it's fucking dead. So I was like, well, screw it. I'll get a MacBook Pro, use that for work. And then, of course, I do that, and then the job goes away. Funding ran low, and they'd let me go. I don't begrudge them in the slightest. They're friends of mine. I still consider them to be friends. No harm, no foul. And frankly, I hate working downtown Orlando, so we're like, oh, okay, well, at least I don't have to work downtown anymore. Of course, then I ended up contracting for another company who happens to be in downtown Orlando, so I'm back there again. Tag teams back again. Eat days. Oh well. Anything for that almighty dollar. Selling my soul to the corporate hole. Ooh. Oh, it's because they're all okay, but sure. But hey, a lot more bullets, so that's cool. So I think I have enough bullets to feed into that. The nice thing is I haven't built anything else that generates pollution so far. And as we saw earlier, my pollution cloud has not yet extended down to that first spider base. So until they send out feelers to possibly set up other bases or whatever, they won't hit my cloud. Now, they're going to, they inevitably will. But at least as long as the pollution cloud doesn't actually pass over their little base here, I won't be getting regular attacks. Worst case, I get some strays show up now, which I can deal with those. Particularly if can't build it yet. I'm building military 2 now, so I'll just go ahead and get the submachine gun ready. Be a little bit better prepared to slap the shit out of them. But I need some iron. And I'm going to have to cut off the bullet production for a bit because I need belts. And this is the grindiest part. Getting that main bus completed. I'm going to get enough materials. I know. The research needs the metals. I does not give shits. Oh, speaking of which, do we have does this have enough copper? There's a little more in there, just to make sure it stays fed. Must feed the beast. Which reminds me, I gotta check out that Minecraft mod. People keep comparing it and talking about Factorio Lakes. It's just, my guess is that all of the mining of the materials would be done manually, and that just sounds annoying as hell. I mean, I enjoyed Minecraft. I think it's a great game. Huge props to Marcus. His $2 billion payday. Fuck me twice. Oh, Billy's $2 billion. God damn. That's like murdering money right there. Huge props to him and the I don't even know the name of the company. The ones who got that psychotically awesome payday. Then run the Beltline. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and start with coal, since that's gonna go to both of these anyhow. So run that right about to here. No, I'm splitting that. This is where it's a little tricky, is trying to figure out what to do with the coal up front. Yeah, I'll probably just split it and then running into the sides of these belts, have the ore slap into the other side. When the mashers show up, I'll end up using mirror inserters on one side of it. It won't compress for shit. Decisions. I might just run the ore to the outer bands, then have both sides of this belt insert metals into it. That way, the masher input's still going to be shitty no matter how I slice that one. Yeah, fuck, I'll stick with the plan. Stick with the plan. Try to mitigate as much having to do shit over at this point as humanly possible. Later on, I care less, because at that point I have production going. I can move things around. You know, got options at that point. Right now, though, like, everything's just tedious. Oh, these things are out of coal, so I gotta go fill them up. I just don't want to have to micromanage fucking coal feeds anymore. I just want to produce, and then have to produce more. Not have to manually. Ugh. That's good. Gotta pay the bill. Alright. So I pretty much have enough in place to be able to do the coal feed. I just need to put a splitter here, and then I can run in for those belts. But I need a shitload more belts in order to run this other stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and cut off the research. Start just grabbing this up. Now, I could actually extend this down a little bit further and automate this into transport belts. And I might just do that. Because if I got to run my fat ass around anyway to grab this shiatsu, I may as well do that again. I'm going to let it finish this one here, and then flip this over to, transport belts. Means I gotta bring this down a couple more so that I can get iron plates to that one. I'm just gonna steal this inserter. I'm probably not gonna be automating any more science at this point. I mean, literally at this point on the field. I will be automating science later. Oh yes, I will. I will automate the shit out of that. But yeah. From here, it's really just minor upgrades. I can't do much until I get to green science, so get that shit out. So, I'm standing in the way. This, put that there, and there. Okay. Keep it there. Let's keep that in. Oops, am I not close enough? There we go. Get those going. Let that build my belts for me. Grab a little more coal just so I have it in hand. I'm actually rather surprised that we haven't gotten any visitors yet. Sorry. I guess that really is a testament to how fantastic this starting position is. I mean, I just started at all defaults. It's not like I said a big starting area or anything, but a whole lot of jack shit when it comes to bad guys. That's the way I like it. I want to focus on the factory, not the fuckers. Grab some of these belts here. Alright, so 50 belts and start getting the iron line. Alright. Still debating whether or not to run ore along the outside lanes and then feed the plates to center, or do vice versa. I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm not running multiple lanes of copper or iron. I can only run one of each anyway, so at the end of the day it comes out to be the same thing. It's not like I can accelerate the outputs based on the inputs. It sucks because the mashers can output shitloads of dust. Shitloads. So you can fill a double-sided belt no problem, even with a single lane of mashers. Until you start getting really fast belts and dropping modules into your electrics. But in this case, since this is just a starter belt, I do want to get mashers in there just for efficiency purposes, so I don't have to feed massive tons of ore into the line to be able to compress, even up to reds. I mean, once it hits blues, all bets are off. And then greens and whites, which are part of 5-dem, there's higher level belts really, really fast. But that's a ways off, and by the time I start worrying about that, I'll probably end up starting to develop this area. So I've already killed off this batch, and then there's going to be some extending this, but I'll definitely want to develop in this area because, I mean, with the oil patches here and here, chances are I'm going to end up running refineries up into this corner to protect them and then have the fluids come out. I mean, holy shit, look at this fucking oil resources. That's just begging to be developed. So, long story short, it doesn't really matter where the ores end up going. So, since I already built this belt out to go straight up the middle, I'm going to go ahead and let's bump this back one. Have this be the ore feed here. There we go. I'll just go one more. God damn it. Yes, officer, I have been drinking. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then, like a soup. And that is where the copper will go in. Do this, and here we go. Right. Yeah, it takes a little time sometimes to get that shit in. I'm so happy I automated those belts. It takes a little time to get things situated sometimes in my head to figure out like what's my battle plan, but I have a general idea of how I want to approach it in most cases. It's just a matter of how I actually want to get there. And most of that is just around reducing the amount of shit I'll have to redo later. So in this case, I pretty much have everything in place. So it's just a matter of getting enough belts to finish building out the loop. I'll have to then get the splitters ready. But yeah, pretty much got everything ready to go. Put these trees away. There we go. And this is going to get our ore lined up right there. Fucking A, cotton. Fucking A. Alright, cool. So once I connect that to the ore line, which, that is facing out, I want digging that shit out, and it'll run the iron ore up to here. The iron ore will hit the side of the belt. I'm going to, in fact, let me see if I got it. I do! Ha-ha! So I can slap the splitter onto here. So then I just put one more splitter up, which I'm going to go ahead and creep that now, so it'll be ready when I get up there. I'll put another splitter on the coal line. That'll bring it down to here. Split it off into these two. Coal onto each side of the belt here. So slap that onto here. And get rid of that. Turn it into there. Alright, cool. So, fuck me. Fucking mouse. So now that takes care of the coal feed. So I'll go ahead and get that going. There we go. So now I've got coal going into it. And now I just need enough belts to connect the ore feeds, which I'll end up digging up all of this, and I need to get enough parts to do the miners. So that at this point I have enough belts to complete that stuff, so I'm going to let this just use up the rest of its material, dig it up, grab all this shit, and I'm going to leave some shit sitting on the ground. I just don't care. I'm going to take all thems. I'll take all thems. I'm going to take zems and zems. Come on, Tokies. He's going to get these fuckers. Alright. Pick up all this. I'm going to need to lay down more power lines, but that's good. I'm going to grab this shit up just to get it all cleaned up. And now... Oh, fuck. And now I don't have enough iron plates. So, put one of these back down. Premature, something. There's a big joke in there somewhere. I can quite place it. And go ahead and pick these up. As I said, that's the last of the research I was planning on doing in this area anyway, so grab these, get the copper plates out of them. Oh, they're winning. You jip bastards. Jipping me hard. Alright, so go over there. Get rid of these. I'm just getting enough plates to start putting down the electric miners along here, so I don't have to coal feed these anymore. Belts. Belt stuffs. It needs more belt stuffs. Yeah, I love Metalocalypse. Even if the last season was a little weak, not hating, you gave us much, much goodness. I get it. You're tired and wants to move on to other projects, so I ain't hating. Just loving what I got out of it while I got it. Now that one is going on. Alright, it's not really going to be there. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to accidentally start loading ore into places that ore didn't need to be loading into. Did you hear that, Rick? Voices, plural. More Rick and Morty. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I do like them animated shows. That's the thing. I don't want to watch real world bullshit on TV. Like, if I wanted to see real people doing real things, I'd go outside and get annoyed at people. I want to watch crazy situations and cool worlds and just shit I'm never gonna get to see in real life. Yeah, if real life was that interesting, then drinking wouldn't be nearly as fun. Alright. That second electric miner now, and I think that's going to be good enough for the ore feed. So we'll get that hooked up to this belt. But I'm not taking the stuff down yet because I actually need a little more. I actually need a little more iron plates so that I can get a couple of miners for copper as well. Although I have enough belts now that hopefully, yeah, there we go. I can just at least get that part of it ready. So once I do have the once I do have the miners, just drop them in place and start feeding that shit in. Although I will go ahead and just take these. Because I got a bunch of copper now. Yeah, that's not something I have to worry about at the moment. Iron is always the initial bottleneck. Copper will become the bottleneck eventually. And that's mostly in wires. I mean, I imagine that easily
70 to 80%, if not more, of all of the copper mined ends up going in copper wires. That's not hyperbole. That's just that's my honest analysis back of the napkin. I haven't sat there and counted the shit off and the production metrics, but that's not on. So yeah, I haven't done the math, but I'm willing to bet that if I did do the math, that's what it would turn out to be. All right, cool. So good to go as far as that. Because I just need one more. Start getting copper ore ground down, and we'll get more. Oh, there will be more. Never fucking enough. Oops. And now I have to go in my pocket. Keep that. Built a belt underneath an iron plate, which I'm joined the party. All right, cool. So now that's gonna go get into the soon-to-be main bus, and then get the first copper miner down. That's pretty shitty placement. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Perfect. So I'm actually gonna stick it up. Oh, yeah, stick it in there. All right, cool. So got copper, got coal, got iron ore. You see the coal is being split. It's being fed into these two central lines. The ores are on their way. There's the iron ore. So now it's just a matter of furnaces. And fortunately, I got tons of stone. So I'll get those in there. And then inserters, which I don't have many of because iron ore shortage. But that's okay. As long as I had enough for 2, then I'll let the plates build up here and start building the output of those. Oh, I didn't build the second half of Delta. That's right. Because there comes a point where I just don't care. I just want the plates to start producing down in this area. That's really my biggest concern right now. Because as long as they're being produced back by the ores and not as part of the bus, then I'm going to be stuck in that loop of having to run back and forth and micromanage that shit. Oh, I forgot I had all the inserters I took off the alternators. So I'll actually be able to get a respectable little main bus going here. There it is. I got plenty of copper and plenty of wood, so getting power down here is going to be a non-issue. Oops. Did I mention I've been drinking? This. There we go. Okie dokie. So I have enough extra here. I'm gonna run these out like so, and that way there's just a little bit of leeway for actually putting down. Some of these building first. Okay, cool. So that way there's just enough leeway to start getting some extra plates put out there until I figure out like where I'm actually running the plates to past that point, because I haven't really gotten that far in my planning yet. Pop this up. So there we go. Do this, do this, this, and we'll do this. And then this is extraneous, but yeah, so it's okay. That's just taking more time than the inventory right now. Salient point being that I got the wiring in place to get those inserters working, so I just need to get this connected to the main network, and the first main bus is in full effect. Dead sexy times indeed. Alright, bam, there we go. So now I have copper and iron plates getting produced down along that line. We still haven't seen our first attack, which is fucking fantastic. I don't have enough iron plates to generate any turrets, so that's a good thing. But I am getting a little concerned about this huge exposed surface here as well as over here, particularly since now I'm bringing the pollution makers over here. I don't know what the fuck is going on over here. We don't see any bases, so hopefully okay. But yeah, taking that for granted, not a good thing. So I definitely want to start getting the defenses built up on there. And that means I also need to start getting the stone wall production going. that one's always fun because it's like, all right, where do I want to actually do that, and how am I going to get the materials to do it there? If I had a coal field over here, then I would just generate them on the spot, but it's not looking promising on that front. Yeah, what I was hoping was a coal field over here is apparently not. It's just a shadow on the map. Mo's the pity, so it looks like my nearest decent plot of coal is over there. There's not out here. So, I'm probably just going to produce the bricks back by the power station, because there's these patches of stone over here. So I'll feed I'll feed a little bit of this coal off onto those. I mean, I got it right here, so I can just branch some off, pull it out of this, and that'll feed both the burner, which, yeah, I'll actually just do an electric along this spot right here and feed it into this box. Do a double hop. I need to go get more iron ore in order to finish this piece up. I'll take that. But at least this electric will be self-sustaining. I'm going to grab both of those. So getting that going. There we go. So now I got a nice little stone feed going here. I need to then get a furnace in place, or I can do a line. I can do that. There we go. There we go. Oh. There we go. Do like so. I don't know if I'm going to have enough metal to pull this off. I stick to one furnace right now. Not even that. Actually, I have enough for 2 more inserters, so I'll start with one. Go get iron enough to do another. Excuse me. Put that here and get that. Okay. So now with this, I'm going to get these going. That to there, and shit. I forgot to put the coal feed under here, which I'm not going to have enough components to do it with, because I don't have buffer splitter. Early days. It's all good. It's all good. The main bus is prepped, so I'll run down here and grab some iron, keep that in place. Yeah. All I need is a little bit more iron, and I can go ahead and get the inserters on that, which will then get the stone bricks going. I can even slap down automators to create some automated stone walls. I don't want to use up all of the stone bricks doing that, because then need stone bricks for other shit. But initially, it's a good thing. Oh, yeah, it's because there's not cold. Okay. Who put the coals out on my floor? Classic movie. But then Eddie decided to take his career in another direction. Not hating, respect. He wanted to do the family thing. You do you, brother. You gave us greatness while you were doing the fun stuff. So I got no complaints. And it's not like he fell off anyway. It's not like Eddie Murphy just turned into shit. Let's be completely fair here. He's still doing quality, he's just doing family-oriented quality, so it's not the same raunchy stuff that he was doing previously that, god damn it, it's fucking just loving to scroll bullshit. That we came to associate his humor with. But he still does quality, so again, not a... Alright. Now, I'm gonna slap automator here, another one here. And really, me placing it like this is just me being lazy. Look at there's already power in those spots. I'll just put them where I want to stick the inserters and they'll have power. Oh, oops. There's that on. But now I have the fast density available. Sweet. Alright, cool. So, balls. In the window! Wow. Alright, cool. So that's actually going to be using up all my stone bricks. I should make more space. Nah, because I'm not producing enough stone to be able to do it. I can actually throw another miner over there. Ah, damn it. Thought I had a good burp brewing there. I was like, oh. No, denied. Oh, and his background's getting all fuzzy. That sucks. Here, let me see if I can do a little something like that for you. While that is percolating, because hey, you can't see me playing around with OBS now. Let's see if I can improve that background a little bit for you. Oop. I am new to this setup. I thought I had the lighting down so it would not be shitty. But that is clearly not the case. So let's see what we can do to address this later. Yeah, this is not a professional setup at all. Oh no. Oh no. No, this is my office. Which actually I guess I can do the quick look around here. Not sure. Yeah, I guess it's not gonna be on the green screen, so I'll just pull it off there. I'm not sure what this is gonna look like, so sorry if it's all fucky. But yeah, I mean this is actually this is my workshop. Shelves of computer shit everywhere. I mean this is and there's that crazy wall. Yeah, this is actually it's like a half of a garage. The previous owners drywalled off half of the garage. So the back half of the garage is actually this room that I'm in right now. Like it's still cinder block against the opposite wall that I'm facing. It used to be behind me. Before I started filming this today, I went and rearranged the room. So like I'm now facing the opposite direction that I faced for months now. There's less space in the middle of the room, but I wanted it to have it so that I could actually have the green screen behind me. Just so, because I mean now, and that's why I'm fiddly fucking around with the settings now, because now I can see the, it was almost there. It was almost, it was like, oh well. Soon. I think I need to refresh the beverage with a little more soda and a little less alcohol, because I think it's actually cutting the carbonation, taking the fun out. But yeah, so I rearranged the room so that I would have the wall right behind me, because there's a window on the opposite wall, and so the sun was coming through there, and just the lighting was completely fucking up the picture, causing all sorts of static and heinous bullshit. So I took one for the team and then cleanse that up. Alright, let's see if that helps a little bit. Eyeballing it here. Checking. It's all fucking high tech. Yeah, I don't know if you saw when I spun the camera around, but it's like I have the MacBook sitting right here, in front of me with Factorio actually running on it, and OBS, Open Broadcast Software System, some fucking thing. Maybe that's what it stands for, some fucking thing. All running on here, and then I have my my regular PC, the one I usually end up playing on, or just doing anything computer related on. Actually sitting behind, well, the monitors for it sitting behind me. The PC's on the floor, but who the fuck looks at that? So it's a little bit of a weird setup, and like I'm using my own computer. Like I have the stream going on my computer, so I can monitor the quality. And that's why I noticed that there's a buttload of static, which looks like it's been cleared up. I increased the similarity tool, so my hair is probably a little statikier than it was before, but whatever. It's not like there was much there to start with. And if it really becomes a distraction, I'll just shave my fucking head. There. I would do that for you because I love you. I won't say how much I love you because apparently I didn't mark this channel as not safe for children or some bullshit, so I have to watch certain references. Honestly, maybe I'm not even supposed to be using foul language. I don't know. I don't know. I'm so unused to existing in a puritanical environment. Um, I mean, I work a corporate job, and even that's like kind of weirded out. Pollution check. No, we still got. I mean, look at this. The edge of the pollution's here. Douchebags are here. So we're good for now. Whoa, is that jittery? Is that like jittery for you guys? Let me look at the screen. Screen check. Check. See me scratch my nose. That's always compelling content. I'm just monitoring the screen, make sure that it's not looking like it's jerking around for you. Okay, no, it looks normal for you. Good. It was just a weird, like for a moment the screen got oh shit. Yeah, it's weird. Maybe I've just been drinking that much. But be that as it may, it seems like it's okay on the actual stream. So as long as it is not screwing with you, I am satisfied. Let me get this out of my quick bar. My bar is getting mighty full. Yeah, I built these undergrounders and then I'm not using because I didn't cross over to that side. Whatever. No harm, no foul. There we go. So we got a nice little build-up of coal. So now I just need to increase the ore feed. Means more mine. Wait a minute. What was I just looking at? Something was weird. I saw some. There it is. Oh no, I was thinking radars. Which is not a terrible thing to build. Oh, although power might be an issue. Might be time to go ahead and add a couple more steam engines. Actually, I'm going to hold off on that. Because the pollution generation that we have going right now is really nice in terms of not acquiring douchebags. So I'm going to go ahead and put down another miner on the iron. Because the ore feed is thin. It's not so thin that all of the furnaces aren't at work. But just barely. So I want to make sure that they produce as hard and fast as possible. Let's go and get ourselves a submachine gun. There we go. And a shotgun. For some impromptu explosive forestry. I thought about creating that mod. Just I'm not even sure what I would call it. But just a shotgun that's specifically targeted towards forestry. Or deforestation. Yeah, maybe just the deforester. But yeah, like a shotgun that uses specialized rounds, but gets like a bonus against trees. Because let's be real, that's what we're mostly using the fucking thing for anyway. So I know my shirt is getting a little speculated. Like I said, it's a ghetto setup here, man. I mean, it's a piece of green cloth behind me. The lighting in here is not professional at all. I mean, it's just the shitty little overhead lights. Like, I put a piece of cheesecloth in front of one of the lights, try to diffuse it a bit, but it's dick. Yeah, I made do with what I had in the general area, but this was not production quality by any stretch of the imagination. So, apologies if it's distracting in any way. It's a new thing for me, man. Be patient. It's okay. It's okay. I'll just hold you gently in my arms and so, fart with the settings a little more. And then tomorrow I might look into just getting some extra lamps or something. Probably not, because I'm really lazy. But I have to go out and about to go get a new thermostat for the car anyway. So. Which may not be needed. I originally suspected that was necessary, and then I went to check the coolant level, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" He was actually down like 3 quarts. Like no, it was probably around 2 quarts, but still, it was like friggin' a hell of a lot of coolant missing from that friggin' tank. Given that I just took it in for routine maintenance like last month, so the fuck? Makes me wonder, like, so either I have some kind of leak going on, or somebody screwed the pooch when they were doing service. I don't know if they did flush and fill. If they did, then my guess is that when they fleshed the system out and then they filled it, they didn't bother to run the engine for a few minutes and then top it off. And so, it's like, hey, we'll set it up to the line, but then after you run the engine, you got those empty lines, which now the fluid goes into those, and it drops the total in the expansion tank. So I'm hoping that is the case, because otherwise I have a leak somewhere. Not likely into the engine, because that much fucking coolant getting drained out into the engine, I'm fairly certain it would have hydrolocked at this point, so I'm not terribly concerned about it. But I may end up replacing the thermostat anyway, just as a precautionary measure, because it's not a big deal. I have a Mustang, and it's a V6, which is nice because they designed the engine bay to fit the V8. So when the V6 is in there, there's like extra room around the sides. After having to work on a fucking Dodge Neon previously, oh my god, it looks like I could just pull up a cot in there, bring in a mini fridge, invite some friends in, and we all just hang out under the hood. And oh man, it's just so much room for activities. Those activities being fixing the car. But at least that's nice. I could be lazy and just take it to the dealership and have them do it because it is covered under warranty. I bought it new, so it's like still within the powertrain portion of the warranty, which coolant system's covered under. It's a fucking $20 part. It took me an hour. I finally got the Haynes manual, which is awesome because I'm waiting like 2 years for that. So it's like, I'll get the thermostat as a precautionary measure. If it has any issues with all this, I'm a computer guy, not a mechanic. I was a mechanic in the Navy, but I don't do mechanical stuff very much anymore. But I try to be somewhat diligent about working on my car because, well, is that bad guys? Is that bad guys? Did they catch me slipping? No, it's not. Okay. But I try to be diligent about doing that sort of thing myself in a lot of cases, just for the sake of knowing what needs to be done on the car, even if I'm going to pay somebody else to do it. I just don't like that feeling of, well, I guess I'm going to trust this asshole that he's telling me the truth. Because frankly, I don't think that most auto mechanics are out to scam you or any of that nonsense. A lot of people are under that preconception. That's not. I don't believe that at all. But they're human beings like anybody else, and even if they're not being intentionally dishonest, they can be mistaken. I think, getting back to this video game thing that I've been doing, I think that I'm gonna run the main bus right along here. Yeah, up through here, and then actually have automation extend out this way. Oh man, it's so hard to tell because now the space is getting tight. I'm gonna have to do a whole lot of deforestation if I'm gonna do any kind of construction along here. But if I do run it out through this way, then I can actually build onto it using these nodes, and then actually build a serious factory out this way. Well, whatever I'm gonna do, I need to get it done soon because daylight's burning and the buggies are gonna be coming. And so I need to be ready. Alright. Just taking a minute to think here. Don't fucking push. Alright, so priorities at this point, now that I have the main bus going, is get the research loop going, because I need to get them reds and greens percolating, and that will get me to liquids. But in order to get there, I also have to get steel processing going. And given how many times I've been through this process in the past, I really should just have like a regimented thing that I go through. But I really don't. It really depends on the map and what I have to work with. In this case, I figured I was going to end up rushing steel and then getting the research loop in and pushing towards turret 2 and armor piercings, but from a defensive standpoint, it doesn't really look like I'm going to deal with a bunch of bullshit. So, you know what? I guess that actually leads to a good idea. Find out what I really am looking at. I'm usually reluctant to put down a radar early on because they're a huge, huge power drain. In fact, let me see how much power I got available. And these things really do put a fucking load on. Like, this is gonna pretty much put it to the point where I'm gonna have to build steam engines. But it would be nice to start getting some actual maps data on what's going on out there. Let me put this thing back this way. Get it closer to the boobs. Don't want to get it too close because radars attract their attention real good. Yeah, that's a good spot. Let that start mapping. Get a better idea on what the hell is going on out there. Right, see how we're doing on power. See that boosted the shit out of the power usage. So, put down a couple more steam engines. And this is going to significantly increase the amount of pollution. So, I mean, I was expecting to be facing the bugs sooner than this anyway, so this is actually been luxury, as a noted web author would say on a certain podcast. I gotta face the music sometime. Besides, it's not like I'm being very productive. I'm saying just babbling away like you came here to listen to some bald asshole talk about his fucking life. And you came to watch Vidya. Watch that Vidya. Beverage. Okay. Much better. I mean, not that burp. That burp was still pathetic. Man, that was bullshit. I drank an entire freaking cup of Coke and no decent burps. I think they're changing the formula or something, man. I feel robbed. Alright. Oh man, this little narrow curve is just really bugging me out. I'm not sure how I want to go about doing this portion. Like, I'm really thinking maybe I'll just shoot the bus straight through here. You know, I'm going to have to work around. I mean, there's still a lot of... Yeah, you know what? There's plenty of space going to there. Yes, there's the annoyance of having to blast my way through these friggin' trees, but just the nature of the beast. Yeah, I mean, maybe mine up quite a few of them, make sure I got enough wood to last on electrical poles for a long while. Get this running. And then I'm going to need to bolster the amount of output that the actual lines are running because I need to get steel production going. There's a lot of good stuff that's relying on having steel available. Like hell, just the steel tool to be taking down these trees would be a hell of a lot faster. Man, face is itching like crazy. Sorry. I know it's like annoying to watch me rub on my face, but I'm like borderline shaving my face, even though my wife doesn't like me clean shaven. It's just really annoying the fuck out of me. I don't know why. Level 1 shotgun. So weak. Yeah, if you're fairly new to Factorio, the shotgun is not a weapon for killing bad guys. It can, don't get me wrong. But this is what the shotgun really does. And this is just the first level shotgun with default ammo. Once you get the combat shotty and you got all the shotgun upgrades and oh shit. Yeah, just fucking you just start knocking deserts down. Like everything just falls over, man. You go like you see this giant forest in your way, and it's like, whatever. Whack, 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 forest gone. Like it really just disappears. It's amazing. Initial shotties, yeah. You know, it's like playing with the initial belts after you've been playing with white belts. So, God, I see you're so slow. That's how it is. At least it's still automated, and in this case, at least it's still a shotgun. It might actually not be faster than using the iron tool, but it's still a shotgun. There's something to be said for that. Okay. Yeah, so cleared enough space along there. Get the belts running along here. A skirt right along this fucker here. Alright, cool. Just making sure that we actually help that. Okay, cool. So this will be my iron line. Just get rid of that. That's what I was looking for there, is the water's edge there. Can't get my iron by the water's edge. Use it. Alright, cool. And then I'll actually bring the copper down to run what it is, but I want to do a little bit of that. Since I'm going to have to run that along the edge, I'm going to go too wide. And get more dots. Cool. So just to give a little more explanation of what I'm actually doing here is I'm setting up the actual main bus. Like all of this was just the processing for the main bus. The thing about setting up the bus, at least the way I do it, I'm sure there's other people out there who have far better ways to do it. But the way I do it is I'll choose a path for the bus that leaves enough space on one side that I can develop shit, and then just start building branches off of it. So like, excuse me. So like I'm building this one out, and then my first branch will be steel. So I'll run a steel branch probably past here just to get around the stone. This fucking water patch. Damn it. God. I might just cover it. I got plenty of stone up here. Hey, we're playing endless resources, so we don't have to be so chancy. But I'll run steel here just so that I can get a steel band back into the main bus. So that way I'll have iron, copper, and steel all running along the path here. With those three materials in place, I'll be good to go on developing a whole lot of shit. Could have built automation too. I could have researched automation too when I saw that. I just thought about that. It's like, still can't build a blue automation. Sorry, total sidetrack there, but just something I thought about it for my second one. Peel some of this off and turn the belt down. Scissors in my copper. Oops. Actually, since I already have this thing built, and I'm going to be iron it for that. Ooh, you know what? I just realized I'm going to need the coal for the. I think it's this way. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to need the coal for the steel production. So, go ahead and split that off. And then I'm going to need another underground belt. Yeah. Oh, here's something specific to 5. Well, I say specific. I'm sure there's other mods that have similar or same. But 5dim adds on long belts, long underground belts. It also does it with pipes. But as you can see here, there's a plus 30 and a plus 50 underground belt, and then a plus 30 and a plus 50 pipe. These run 30 or 50 squares in length. So you can place this in one spot, and then the other end can be up to 30 squares away, and then with 50 up to 50 squares away. And as you can see, he uses 50 transport belts or 30 transport belts, respectively. Sometimes they can actually be cheaper or faster to produce. I shouldn't say cheaper, but faster to produce than the regular underground belts, because the regular underground belts require transport belts, and if you don't have those handy, then that means you're also building iron gearbox by hand, whereas these, it's just using the existing. So kind of a weird dynamic that sometimes happens with those. Where you see, you can only build like 3 or 4 of these, but you can build shitloads of these. Because I don't know. It's just one of those things you end up getting used to when you play with 5dim. But you also get spoiled on it. Especially with the long underground pipes, because they're not doing these days a chance. Oh, one other inherent thing. I don't have any pipes in the nearby area to show. But you can walk through pipes in 5 game. They're not blocking objects, so you don't have to do your typical refinery bullshit of having like as many underground pipes as possible, even if they're only this far apart, just so you can actually walk between the damn things. Pipes aren't blocking objects with 5 game installed. It's one of those, like, I'm not even sure if that was an intended thing or if it's just a consequence of when you built out the mod and ended up having the shit. Just the way that he built the custom belts, just because they're like specific. Like the transport belts are defaults. Um, the red and blue belts might be defaults as well. I'm not exactly sure. But as you can see, like here, it's like in the description of item base 5 dim core. It's like he's essentially creating an extension of the object, and so when he did so for the pipes, maybe either intentionally or otherwise, he omitted the part where it'll actually block stuff. Look, the radar is pulling up some bad guy data. Let's get that out of the way and see what they're going on here. Woo! That's a big one. When the pollution patch hits that, we're going to get lots of company. Got a decent little one over here, too. Fortunately, nothing up here, and nobody's showing up over here yet. There could be something encroaching right here. But our pollution cloud is fairly small right now, so I'm not terribly worried. We're inevitably going to get some company. And I do want... And that's why I was actually thinking about the 3-part automators, because can't automate turrets until have automation 2, and can use automator 2s, which will accept 3 ingredients. So until then, I got to make my turrets by hand. Not a big deal. Turrets are usually pretty quick to make. But I also need to get my bullet maker. So lots and lots to do still. Just build a stack of splitters, get that out of the way. Get that out of the way, get my hook there. I'm just trying to think how I want to get the steel processing moved forward. Might just merge them right and shoot it up this way. Then actually do the steel processing in this spot here. Yes, so that's my plan. PLAN, plan. Alright, lots of belts. Lots and lots of belts. Lots of belts. Actually going to do it. I'm going to do it right here and curl it back because I want to leave enough space when I have the second lane of output metals on the other side of the ore. It's going to come in here. It's going to go into a splitter right here. So I actually want to branch it off here. There we go. Yeah, it's one of the things after you played this game a bunch is that hang on. Is that you start taking into account all sorts of nifty little things that will make your life easier, being aware of, taking into account in advance. Like, for example, the fact that the iron was on the wrong side of the belt, so now I got to feed it on the right side of the belt, put it under here, because when the coal goes in, it's going to be on that side. So now, this belt is ready for steel production. So I'll run up the middle there. 1, 2, 3, 4, bam. And then I can run furnaces up the middle here. And now I just need a bunch of inserters. Which regular speed inserters are just fine for this purpose because steel production is slow, hence why I laid down a whole bunch of these buffers, because it's going to take it a while to produce any decent amount of steel. But it would be totally worth it. Totally worth it. I mean, other than the fact that you absolutely have to have steel for the production of many products. Being able to upgrade from these stone furnaces to steel furnaces, for example, that's going to be a huge boon. So getting the steel production going is a wonderful thing. Plus, of course, it is a prerequisite for many important things, such as fluids. Can't build pump jacks without steel. So, yeah, you're going to have to get it going. Yeah, that's actually a good place for that. There we go. So now we got our steel production going, which is Le Pimpe. And I will actually extend this quite a bit. I doubt I am going to be able to get sufficient amounts of iron to sustain that properly. But that being said, oops, there we go. I do want to make sure that if I can, that there is enough capacity. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get enough iron. Well, I mean, given us, because the thing is, I'm going to switch these to steel furnaces, obviously, at some point, which I can't do just yet. No, I haven't unlocked that tech. But I'm going to unlock the steel furnaces, and then when I do, I want to be sure that I have enough raw material feeding into them to keep them busy. And given that this is a single lane of iron coming off of a single lane, I don't know how many steel furnaces I'm really going to be able to supply with that. Probably not too many. Actually, I need to go around. I'm actually going to go around this stone. Just reserve the ability to use those. 2, 3. This bus is actually wider than I'd like to be given the limited space there, but I'll put that. Put these here. Okay. Now I have a bit of a problem because I'm still not producing research. So I need to focus on that next. I just wanted to get the steel out of the way first because since it is a core item, get that done. Once I get deep into the research loop, I'm going to need fluids, but I can feed those in from anywhere, so I'm not really worried about figuring out a position for those. The hardest part of fluids is just getting the raw manufacture going and then keeping it going, because then you get run into situations like light, what is it? I guess it's just light oil. It ends up getting produced more than the rest of the stuff and fills up the refinery so it stops running. Little goofy shits like that you gotta worry about with liquid. But getting it to different destinations usually isn't that big a deal. Like, worst case, it's like, oh, I don't have to add some pumps. Okay. Alright, but all that bullshit aside, let us zoom back a bit, figure out where the research loop is actually going. So I can run a branch, build reds, and build a loop, keep it off of here. Here's this out. Fuck nature. Fuck this nature in particular. Gonna murder all the nature. Gonna murder nature. Oh, more. I know to murder more nature. There we go. So we're gonna murder up some nature. Yeah, I'd rather wish I had left that initial research loop in place now. It would have been nice to get some shotgun upgrades. If nothing else. And some shotgun upgrades right now would be nice. His default shotgun is kind of slow. Like, I probably could get this done faster just using the iron tool. But whatever. Alright. Getting there. Woo! Yeah, combat shoddy and some upgrades. All this would already be gone. That is really ridiculously fucking awesome at tearing down forests. But that is also quite a ways away, so... Suck it, noob! Alright, I think it's sufficient for now. Now that it's nice and dark and I can't see what the hell I'm doing... Ow. Ass. Wow, that picture is grainy as balls! 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 See if we can fix it up a little bit. We're gonna sort this puzzle out. I don't know why. You're gonna have to deal with looking at the edge of that surfboard. Not mine. I don't surf. Do I look like somebody who spends any significant amount of time in sunlight at all? So my shirt starts freaking out. That similarity, I don't know why it's just suddenly having issues. It was just fine before. I am not a compositing genius. I don't know why it's being issues. So I'm just gonna leave that the way it is. And deal with a little bit of graininess in the background. I'll try to work on getting some more consistently diffused light, to eliminate any shadows. I mean, we're not exactly talking about high-end infrastructure here, and it's not like this is an Avid system feeding off of a professional green screen or shit like that. This is a webcam on a laptop against a piece of fabric bought at a fabric store for like $15. We're not going to get professional grade effects here. George Lucas isn't kicking my door down saying, "Dude, I've got another shitty script that I need people to do effects for." Thankfully, because I'd probably kick him in his name. Oh, God. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy watching the Star Wars movies as much as the next dork. But, oh, my God. Oh, God, terrible writing. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Yeah, that latest one, I decided, yeah, okay, that happened. I'm just not impressed. Alright. I'm just clearing out a little more forest because I'd like to get a better picture of what I have to work with here and how I'm going to position the loop. I really need to... Need to do shit that would make me money, not this stuff. But I need to figure out, I guess, better mathematical principles for how I'm going to lay out some of this stuff so that I can get it done more rapidly. Like, how much space do I really need? What kind of fucking Arduino shotgun is? How much room do I actually need to set up certain layouts? That sort of thing. Instead of sitting there playing guessing games about it. So I'm going to skim this field, so I'm a 2-layer. Yeah, this, as I mentioned before, this area here essentially is to be treated as a temporary base, but the research loop, I kind of just expect that it's going to be the research loop, and so I'd like to set it up so that it's just going to work permanently, because honestly, once that's in place, it's just going to do its thing. It's not something that you want to continuously grow like most aspects of your base. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, inserter, 3, 1, 2, 3, inserter. Okay. Because once you have enough research being produced, it'll take care of itself. It's not something where you're gonna go 5 hours in and be like, oh man, I need to double my research. No. Once you're generating enough research, you're generating enough research. Like, for example, the reds, when it's only red research that's being done, like I was getting done on the initial stage there, like hell, those 2 knocked out most of the stuff I gave a shit about. Once I put the greens in, it'll last a little bit longer, but not that much longer. The blues quite a bit, but even most of that just ends up being like upgrades to existing shit I already got. So yeah, the initial research loop, if you get it right, is gonna last the entire game. You just have to end up extending it a little bit here. I know there are people who develop like standardized layouts, and I think that's cool. But I've never been able to memorize things very well, so it's not like I have any kind of specific layout in mind. That, like, oh yes, I'm going to use that every single time. I have a few like green circuits. I always use a standard, three three assemblers for wires feeding into two assemblers for green circuits. That sort of thing. Outside of that, I just end up winging it depending on what I know shit means. So right now what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to feed red circuits or red science into this loop here. It's not a complete loop, it's enough of a loop that I know how it's going to be spaced. Because it's actually going to have a second row that goes on the outside, which is going to hop wherever I push this line into. Greens will then end up tying into this. So, and then I'll put a splitter. But basically, what I'm looking at doing is this here, and then that here. So there will be a splitter that goes here. Red and green science will come down this line. Splitter will then feed it into this inside lane. There will be a second lane which goes around the outside for the blue and purple science. And I'll just have an underground belt jump this section so that it'll complete the loop. And I'll probably just splitter that shit in as well. Or possibly just direct insert the alien science into the inside and then just direct run the blue science on the outside so it just slams into the outside of the belt. But that's obviously way down the line. Right now I'm trying to think how the red science, which is easy, the red science is the easy part. It's going to be copper plates run along a line here, and then iron. I can't think of the fucking name of those things. The little cogs. The Cogswell cogs. Iron gear wheels. Iron gear wheels along there. So I'll probably just do a single belt of copper plates and iron gear wheels, which is simple. But then I need to leave room for the greens. Greens are actually fairly simple too because they just use inserters and belts, and those can be produced very quickly with only a couple of assemblers. It's just a matter of leaving enough room for a lane of greens to go through. But you can double side those. I can't remember what the magic ratio is for reds, greens, and blues. And frankly, I don't give a shit. If you get close enough, then you'll be covered. Research is one of those things that really like backs up or anything like that. So. I'm going to drink soon. Very thirsty. Throat is dry from all the babbling. I was not used to talking so much. But you know what? I deal with it for you, baby. Alright. Under those, I got quite a bit of inserters. Alright, I gotta make a decision. Quit your fucking waffling, man. So I can put the iron gear makers inside here, have it insert to the outside of this belt, have the copper insert on that. Alright, cool. So that'll work. That'll work. Not fucking around. 1, 2, 3. 1. 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1. Let me just put that under so I can see. Alright, cool. Run that up here. So, the reds, which will be coming into here. So the greens will shoot into here, the reds will come into here. I like to teach the world to sing. Alright, cool. So that'll work. That'll work. Not fucking around. 1, 2, 3. 1. 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1. Let me just put down here so I can see. Alright, cool. Run that up here. The assemblers. Assemble! I guess that does make sense. I'll put a jumper on there. Oh, shit. That's okay. I'll bring the steel in between those. This is not a problem. This is only a test. So reroute this a bit so that I can leave room for the input belts for the iron gear wheels. Because iron gear wheels is going to be produced here, the red science is going to be produced up there. I just need to get the mats into it and then get these bad boys rolling. And get Automator 2. I don't know if that'll be enough. Never enough, man. Alright, I'm going to put the iron into this time. Right reach. The button up, that should go so I could do that. Just for the sake of being lazy. I need to get more belts anyway. Yeah, I need to get the transport belt automation going again, because that's obviously a critical thing. Ow. Sorry, getting my head chopped off. Ah, my skull. The problem with using the integrated camera on a laptop is that it's all predicated on my face positioning to the laptop, which I occasionally like to fuck around about with. But that does you no good. Again, for you, I will put myself out. But I expect unlimited favors in return. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Seriously. So thirsty. Okay. And that actually leaves enough room to run extra cogs out. I don't think they're going to be needed. But just in case. Pop that there. These here. Gather. Get our new friend a drink. Hey, we're not streaming Skyrim. Not tonight, anyway. Not to say that it couldn't be done. And yeah, this here is pedantic bullshit. But I like to put the inserters for the raw materials as far down the belt as I can, just to let as much material queue up on the belt right before it as possible. And I like to put the inserters for the output at the earliest point which they can come out for the same reason, so they can queue up as much on the belt as need be. Truthfully, not a big deal in this case. And in most cases, I mean, that extra 2 spaces ain't gonna mean shit, but it just makes me feel better inside. And isn't fees what really counts in this world? Alright, so I got that one. I need to pull the second jumper. Get this fucking. Wait, there we go. I'm gonna pop that bad boy there. I'm gonna drop the splitter here. Actually, I don't want to deal with it. I want to go here because I actually need to have this curve in like so in order to force it to hit the one side. If it had been closer, then it would have actually merged and caused a curve, and then it could have fed into either side of the belt. This way, it's forced to go into one side of the belt. Son of a bitch. That's good. Yeah, it's okay. It's all good. 1, 2, 3, 5. It's made a lot of fucking beds. Take the I'm gonna peel off on it. Because I think I really only need about 8 reds, and I can do 4 on each side and then curl them back into here, so I'm gonna go ahead and snip off another end there. Curve this in there. Because the other side, like I'll end up putting assemblers on both sides, have them feed into this single output belt here, which I'm then gonna run down into the side here, drop into the splitter here, and then voila. And where's those labs I picked up? There we go. Whereupon they will go into these here laboratories. Which I'll go and get rid of now. Check the power usage. I haven't checked that in a while. That's all I need to do doing is slowing everything down. The nice thing about being on gun turrets, though, is that shit hits the fan. It's not really going to affect those in any way. Oh, wait a minute. Ah, man, look at the farts of it. This is lame. This whole night is just becoming lame. What the fuck? I'm going to have to just go lazy. Because I just don't feel like counting. I don't want a math. Alright, cool. So, in my red assemblers here, which bring output to here. Boyakasha. Bam. Alright. Get the power over to these. It is going to put a big power drain on the entire system. I hope. We put the. I'm fairly certain we put the engine in place. Alright, good. Yeah, we're back. Thankfully, we put the other two engines in place, so we're equipped to handle this new workload. It's all good. Yeah. Your mother doesn't have enough ingredients. There we go. Go ahead and finish the loop, just because once it starts feeding those sciences in. God damn it. Definitely not the first time I've ever done that. Oops. Hey, you know what? All roads lead to Rome. There we go. Just because I don't want them going past this first one and then sitting at the end here doing absolutely nothing. Because that would be pointless. Fucking Christ, dude. This magic mouse magically sucked my ass. Yes, here they come. Here they come! I knew it! I freaking knew it, man! It's all good. All good in Das Hood. But this is why I create loops. It's the very, very specific reason why I do that thing. Now it's a non-issue. I don't have to sit here and figure out, like, oh, how many labs I'm going to need to maximize it. No, just build however many labs you got to build. If you build too many, then it's not really too many, because then you just get the shits going around and around the circle until they're ready to be used. It's all awesome. Cool. So I get the bullet damage upgrade on there, and then I'll get the automator too, so that I can actually get the 3-component construction going, which would be great, because it's absolutely necessary in order to get greens, but also be able to automate insurgers and turrets, which will be nice. Speaking of automating nice shit, I can also. I don't want to move down a little bit, just leave room for the greens, but I can go ahead and get the automation for the transport belts going in. At which point, I'm probably going to. I just noticed how many tree wood I'm picking up. But at which point. Well, actually, nothing. No, I think I do want to increase raw material output. Just because all of these extra items are going to start putting a drain on resources. And like right now, we're good. Like you can see on the ends of the belts are filled, which that's what I always want to see. In fact, I want to see it filled double-sided. And anytime it isn't, then I want to make sure that it gets back to that way, which usually means the more furnaces, higher ore output, more mines, that sort of thing. In this early stage, you can't just sketch can. So I'm not that concerned about it, but it's still, it's much better to stay ahead of that sort of thing, especially once I start getting into the 3-component manufactured shits, because then that's when copper starts to become a concern. Because a lot of that stuff uses electronic circuits, and like I said before, the electronic circuits, that's mostly wires. And so the copper needs just accelerate like crazy. You go from needing almost no copper, just for inserters, to all of a sudden needing copper for everything in the fucking world, and it becomes a real pain in the ass to keep up with. So I prefer just to stay ahead of it, if at all possible, and it is certainly possible to do so. It just takes prior planning, which that's why I lay down a bunch of furnaces. Have them ready to start processing the shit out of this ore, as soon as it's needed to be processed. You notice these gaps in the production here of iron, so that is telling me that I need to boost iron production, because these should be backed up. The ideal situation is that the furnaces on the end have too much iron. Like, they start building it up. If I look inside of one, then it has extra iron built up in it. It's like, awesome. That's right where I want it. I want it to have too much damned iron. It can't output it all. There's no room on the belt. That's perfect. Truthfully, the design that I'm using right now is not the ideal. I really should have 2-belt output, and the inserter should be outputting to a belt that only serves 1 or 2 furnaces, and then it should go to a splitter into this main belt feed, because inserters can't compress a belt as well. I've had a belt lined up with fast and extra speed inserters, and that's one of the things the 5-min has. It has a next level speed inserter past fast. It's extra. Even with a full belt of nothing but extra speed inserters, they still can't get into certain gaps on the belt, that if I just had a splitter take the, just have the single belt go into the splitter and then feed into the main belt, it would actually get more material into the belt. So this isn't the configuration with the most potential for material on the belt, but it's good enough. as long as we have a situation like this, where you see there's iron plates built up on the belt near the output, and now I have plenty of iron plates sitting in furnaces ready to be loaded on the belt. Another one, if you have a lot more space available, there we go. Let me go ahead and get Automator 2 going. But if you have a lot more space available in the area, do what I just described. Have your secondary output belt feed into a splitter into your main, but have the furnace insert into a chest, which then inserts onto that feeder belt, which goes into the splitter and into the main belt. Because that way you have not only the buffer in the furnace, but you also have a buffer in the chest that the furnace is feeding into. And then the inserter is taking out of that buffer chest and putting it into the main system, as it were. So that way you have the most potential to just keep producing as much as humanly possible. And then whenever gaps form in your main bus line, you have a stockpile that's ready to be just shot into that sumbitch like rapid fashion. Because you have all these fast inserters just waiting for the chance. They haven't been able to go, and all of a sudden, there's openings in the belt. They've got this massive stockpile sitting in the chest behind them, and it's just bam, and you're back to full. The belt will remain full for much, much longer, because the buffer is not just the length of the belt that sits back here, but it's also the combined total of all of the plates that are sitting in those chests, and then all of the plates that are sitting in the furnaces. So you just have this huge, huge buffer available to you, which is invaluable when you start doing a rapid expansion of your production. When you decide to build a huge line of like whether for example, steel is a good place where that happens. We will build a huge line of steel furnaces or electric furnaces with modules in them, and all of a sudden your iron output just goes crazy because it's all being sucked into your new steel mills. So having that buffer there is invaluable for them being able to say, okay, now we're really jamming through some raw material. Take my ass back, start getting more ore feeding me in, build out some more furnaces, build out enough to feed this new production going. Ideally, yes, you're going to do that in advance because that's the responsible thing to do is prepare for it. But fuck that. Sometimes you're just going to be in a place where it's like, oh, I need these items. Let's go ahead and build up the infrastructure to get them going. And then you find out you don't really have the raw material to back up this little enterprise of yours. So that's okay. That's why we build safeguards. We don't make mistakes. We just have happy accidents. Now, in the particular case of this factory that I'm building right here, right now, though, I mean, again, I'm using endless resources, which is pretty much cheating because now it takes out that concern of, oh, I'm going to run out of ore. So, yeah, the production will eventually flag as I build out more stuff, but the bigger concern when you're building out that buffer is the fact that your resources are going to run out, and therefore you want to make sure that you have something in place that's ready to keep the factory functioning while you're running out to a new outpost, clearing the buggers out, building out your walls, building out your turrets, getting your miners in place, building whatever method it is that you're using to get that shit back to your base, trains or belts or whatever the case may be. You're going to need a little bit of time to be able to get all that shit in place, and you don't want that to be when this belt is run dry, especially if you're relying on those materials for your defenses. Now, as you can see here, the ore along the backside of the furnaces has run out. So I need to up the production of these guys. I'm going to build a lot of miners. Now, one of the cool things that 5DIM includes is increased miners. So there's actually high-speed miners. Yeah, high-speed miners with modules. Holy shit! You can produce more. You can produce more. Automator 2 is almost done now, so I am more concerned with just getting through that, getting science going, science 2 going, inserter automation going, and almost there. There we go. Getting the improved logistics and getting the mashers, which will alleviate a lot of those ore problems. So, all right, so I got the automation 2. So that really leads to my next major step, because now I can go ahead and build the assembler 2s, which means that I can get a green science going. Right. But as a filler material, let's go for faster trackers. It's just more satisfying to see more rounds going on. I don't actually know which one is like more efficient. How much more damage dealt over time. I'm here for the fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, I find math fun, but it's a little dark. It's getting dark, too dark to say. There we go. This is going to put a load on the power system, so I'm going to have to check see how I do. I just want to do it that way. Okay. Now it's going both ways here. Come on. Deleting that is extraneous, but I don't give a fuck. Alright, cool. So that's going into the side there. So now this space. I was leaving that space open just to be able to squeeze in an extra miner. There's only a couple of pieces here, but it would still produce. And I may still yet once I get the higher level electric poles operational, because then they'll have a higher radius and easier time reaching them. But for now, that'll do. So now I've boosted the ever-living shit out of my ore production. I increased it by about 150%, about 140% for MB. Not exactly about it. But enough so that now this should be back to, the furnaces should be back to full production. And this belt should end up, well. The nice thing is that at least it is staying backed up. It's just I want all of these furnaces running hard. Maximize, maximize, maximize. That main bus should always be full capacity. Always, always, always. But now, bam! Build this shit by hand. Gotta build by hand. But that's good, because now that we can do 3-component crafting, or 3 and 4 component crafting, I can actually craft assembly 2s. And even 3s once I get modules researched and produced. Fucking modules, man. Oh my god. Production of those things. You can build entire factories just to get modules on. Yeah, friggin' 5 DIMMs goes to level 5 modules. Like, holy shit, just, oh my god. Like you can build level 5 production fairly small, but just the electronic circuit and the red circuit inputs, fucking ridiculous. Like, oh my god. Like that, just that drain right there is absolutely preposterous. And then the productions are, alright. So now I got these in blues. So, outside of that, I'm actually going to need to get some regulars as well. Get the raw materials for the other stuff. Mainly gears. In fact, I think I can just use a single assembler. I may need to bump it to a 2. Increase. You've used a shitload of modules just to produce one level 5 module. Now, it's pretty cool when you slap that level 5 module into something. But it is fucking brutal to actually produce all the resources for that. Not to mention power hungry as hell. Not the pretty reds. Alright, so now I got these in blues. So, outside of that, I'm actually going to need to get some regulars as well. Get the raw materials for the other stuff. Mainly gears. In fact, I think I can just use a single assembler. I may need to bump it to a 2. In case you're unaware, there's actually a crafting speed increase with each level as well. So there's a benefit to using a blue even for a single input item like iron gears if you need more of them at a time. But in this particular case, I'm just going to create the line for the greens. Let me see. 1, 2, insert, 1, 2, 3, 1, belt. Yeah, that's fine. Now I forgot one of these. 1 inserter, 1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah, there's not enough room for double there. I have to put it back this way. But it is doing well. There it is. Got the others off here. Fucking scroll, man. Look at that shit. Hang on. Stay on target. Stay on target. Just trying to think through how I want to do this. Because I'm going to have this feeding into 2 transport belts. That's right, I'm going to need circuits for the inserter. Transport belts are just gears and plates. This is gears, plates, and circuits. So I need a separate circuit input, which is fine. I'll just build a separate circuit input to that one. And I need the gears going to plate. So grab that metal. Then green feed will go into there. Green feed. Yeah, with green sleeves. I don't know the fucking song. It's the fucking movie. But I know of its existence. You know, it's some guy singing about green sleeves. Green sleeves, I love fucking sleeves, green sleeves. I think these are actually coming from the outside. Because I'm going to run the inserter. I'm going to have a single belt, inserters, transport belts running up the middle of the assemblers that'll create the greens. And I'll probably do like 12 of those, so 6 to a side. So, don't need a hell of a lot of space for that, but I do need to bring them in side by side. So I'm going to figure that out just to put it on that side. Intercept that. That book was okay. That one was more public sub than it was actually Sword to Pop. Okay. C. This is going to be the raw mats. No, this is going to be the output for the greens. So then inserter, 1, 2, 3, inserter, through. Not that. Because this is where the transport belt inserter is going to go. Oops. Another wrong with this one. What the father? Get that transport belt manufacturer now. This aside. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, so many iron plates needed. I'm actually going to please. I need to make the electronic circuits. I'm trying to get this all arranged in my head. It's not completely a lot of work. I don't have any answers yet. I'm being sleepy and slightly drunk. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's close enough. Steel in there, so I'll probably build out the circuits over here. I'm just going to go ahead and use these as spacers. Okay. Here. There. For that is yep, actually that's not gonna work. So I'm going to be cuddling up against the steel, but that's good because I'm not actually using steel along the stretch, so I don't need the extra gap. I leave spaces between the lanes because obviously you can see the splitters coming off the side. It needs a little bit of room to maneuver in order to be able to do things. One space might be enough in a lot of cases, particularly since you can stick like underground belts along the belt length next to it. So you can just take the you can take like a belt, split it off, and then run it directly between. And as long as it's got the the underground belt running this way, you can just have it jump over it this way. But by leaving a couple of spaces in between, that gives me the luxury of doing things like this, where if I need to single side it and then still do the jump, because now I can still run the steel through, no problem. I still got the single lane there. This is also nice if I need to double side it beforehand. Like for example, if this needed to be copper and iron plate, I could split the iron plate here, jump it there, and still have enough space to slap it into the other side of the belt here. So I don't have to run it all the way up into the manufacturing area in order to get this here. Frankly, this manufacturing area is closer than it should be. I would typically leave a couple of assembler lengths on the side. Even more if there's plenty of room, because there'll be other lanes out there. Like I'll put an electronics lane in later. It's just with the Copperfield sitting right here. I wanted to. I want to leave that available for mining. And this, I may be running an endless, but I'll probably still end up having to tap the ever living shit out of that field at some point. So I want to make sure that I leave it open. Particularly since this is so ideal, having it all just packed into this single space. It's just a really good opportunity to make a segregated base area all within this particular sphere here. Which that's, I think that's one of the greatest benefits of running endless resources here is I can do the turtle approach. And that would still work out fine if I was playing standard and this resources wasn't a factor. It's just there'd be much more of a rush to create the initial infrastructure and then run my fat ass out and start grabbing up extra resources. And no, I don't have to stress about that. Now I can spend more time shooting the shit and going into some detail about why I'm doing things the way I'm doing it, or what I've been drinking, or whatever the hell I decide to be talking about. Other than gotta go, biters are coming, which they are, and they still haven't showed up, which is tripping me out. We got some touch over there. Fuck all. All right, I gotta get some defenses up. Spaghettios. Still no alerts. It's kind of tripping me out. Make sure. Yeah, that's touching. In fact, fucking it's about to touch down there, so I gotta get some defenses over here now. Son of a bitch. About to get ugly. Run over here. Random scrolling, because why the fuck not? Now. There. This here, and first walls. There we go. There we are. This is a beaut because I can just cut this whole section off, throw down a few more turrets, and man, that's just going to be completely fucking isolated. And then once I get the iron over there, just run a belt along the edge, have the turrets sitting along the line, have walls sitting in front of the turrets, have a transport belt, inserters feeding off of that, and then just put a armor-piercing bullet maker along there. That fucking wall is protected for life. Life, leave it forever, no problem. As long as the iron holds out, so will that wall. Alright, come on. So we need more turrets. More dots. Okay, stop dots. Okay. I need to fuck us. I need to take some of these back because I need to use these for manufacturing. I need to use my gap here. Oops. Right here. And then so my output belt for this side of greens is going to run along here. Just run it right up to it. Because why not? Pull that out. We're done. Okay. Alright, so now this belt needs to contain inserters and transport belts, which is simple enough. I need. Should I do? I don't know. Doesn't fucking matter. What does matter is 1, 2, 3, inserter, road. What does matter is that I run iron belts along here. which will then, oops, I do that all the time. I like to party every time. Let me put these down, please. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Alright. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I put that turret down just in time. Woo, man. Glad I decided to pay attention at the last fucking second. Alright, so party's starting on that end. Now, as far as this, I need to... Now, I could have one assembler feed iron gears into both the transport belt and inserter assemblers. I really do need to send a drink soon. I'm gonna fucking perish. Anyway. But I'm going to space them out because I need to put the electronic circuit production out there anyway. I'm going to run the copper plates along the back and then just have it feed into the side. I have a little bit of space available on this side. I'm going to have to build out the blues that will feed in, but those are going on the other side. That'll all make sense later. If you played this before, you know exactly what I'm on about. But for now, I'm just going to do iron gears off of there, run irons up to here. This is actually going to feed in electronic circuits off of the actual completion the circuits once those assemblers are done, getting that ready. I just realized I am blocking the blocking my equipment bar. Like literally, I'm blocking it. So here, I will move my fat head out of the way. This down a little bit. I'll move over here. It's the magic of. Actually, I wonder if I can change the aspect ratio altogether. Give me a sec. That's just. I was actually gonna. Oh, I might be able to crop the sides. But if I can crop the sides, then I don't have to worry about that. Because I don't know why it's giving me so much width. I know I'm fat, but it just doesn't seem necessary to have the sides like that. I want to wildly gesticulate or something later on. Or I can shove myself over here. How about that? How about that? I'm on the move! Alright, cool. So, this will be the input for the electronic circuits. So it'll run like this. I need to run... there I go! Woo! Mario action with this bitch. Alright. Like I said, probably a couple hours ago at this point. I like to have this standard pattern for electronic circuits. I imagine most people do because this is like the golden ratio for the damn things. So do that. Goes there. And figure out where the hell they put the wires now. I think they put them under logistics now. For some reason they're under logistics now. I don't get that. Don't care. It works. Just takes a little bit more stuff. I don't give a shit why you want to kill the Starlight guy. I'm sure you have your reasons. Alright. Oh, and I'm going to need to get my first long inserters out. Because I am long and strong and gotta get my friction on. Okay, cool. So, don't actually need these. Just run this up into here. That's going to be my iron. Aaron. Uh-oh. 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 He's under attack. He's under attack. I need some more walls in there. Put some actual wall level protection up on that node. Make sure it's not going to run into that. Good then. Alright, so there's the iron for that, and I'm going to need to get the copper to feed into that one. Which maybe I'll just put back there instead of having to do that. See if I can take care of getting this producing first before I go attend to that mess. Oops, no, nothing. Definitely not that. Because I'd like to get the green research going. Shotgun shells going soon. And basically, I'm using those for filler. I mean, I do want the shotgun shell damage for certain. But realistically, I was just doing it as filler because it only required the reds. Oh, shit. This needs to be blue. Yeah, the whole reason why I needed automation too. That one, yeah. Yeah. Alright, cool. So fuck that. This, that. Oh, shit. Right. Fuck. Oh, I just fucked up. Fucked up something fierce because I didn't leave room for the feeds on these. Not to say that there isn't a workaround, but I still fucked up. I'm not going to try to claim that I plan to do this, but this is slop. Right. This is going to go here, and here, and here. This is going to come up here. No, I just need to figure out how to get iron plates over to this one. Oh man. No, this is just going to make me feel bad. So one of the other things that... Yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to do that because I'm lazy and tired. One of the other things that 5dim includes is 90-degree inserters. I rarely use them. Honestly, I don't even know why I really use them. I guess it... Oh, which I don't have fucking unlocked. Oh, no! But they have a 90-degree insert, so the fact that there's no gap between this and the iron plate belt is not prohibitive to getting the iron plates into it. Yeah, honestly, I don't know why I have a problem with using them. So I'll wait till shotgun shell damage is done producing, and then I will just go ahead and... Oops. And I will research 90-degree inserters, which will go fast. It's like stupid fast research. So I'll get that researched and just use those for getting them into that belt. Those, that, and there. Okay. And I'll work on getting the copper fed in. Yeah, that's for those fucking defenses. They're getting rowdy. Knew this was gonna happen. Starting to pollution. You gotta give it. You gotta give it pollution. Give it pollution. And I need iron. Always more iron. Jumper. A house. There. Here. And there we go. Alright. Now I gotta get those hooked up. Yeah, fuck, I forgot what I need to get it. Yeah. Oh, I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy, but it's like now I feel obligated to at least get the like before I log tonight, I want to get the green science producing, and I want to get the initial defenses in place. So I need to produce a few more turrets. I need to go get a few stacks of walls, which I probably have like half a chest full at this point. And then the green science is about to take care of itself. It's going to power up this loop, and it's going to be good. I need to make sure that there's enough power being generated because I'm adding a lot of production now. And I may not have the facilities. Oh, that's what I wanted to produce: 90 green servers. Which I think these are prereqs for. Real quick, just fucking researching fast as hell. Yeah, and maybe that's why they feel kind of cheap, because the 90-degree inserters get researched fast as hell, and there are multiple levels of 90-degree inserters that become available. Got new inserters, side inserters. Here we go. Like they got the left, right, near, and regular. And they research for 10, and they research fast as hell. Once these are researched, then I'm going to be able to... Then I'm going to be able to research the next level of 90-degree inserters. Fast as hell, cheap as hell. Side inserters 2 and 3 are immediately available. So I get the fast ones. So I'm going to research those. Oh man, there's another colony over here, so now they're going to be coming hard and fast now. Up to its build then. While waiting on side inserters to finish and build those up. But yeah, those built. Then there's these other levels of smart inserters which provide extra speed. So you end up getting all of these really speed inserters before you would get anything comparable via the logistics. Super cheap early, so it's actually more beneficial to use those inserters. Yeah, the new insert. Let's go knock that out. Just to knock it out. I guess it just feels a little cheap, but that's kind of pedantic. So whatever. So I need a right insert. I need 2 right inserters there. 2 right inserters there, 4 right inserters. All right. Storage. They also include additional storage options. It's just bigger chests, basically. Big chests. I don't know that I've ever actually used any of those. Now, oh, oops. I guess I was shading that off. Oh, wait, no, that's what I was thinking. I had a. I don't know. There we go. So new. Got those, and the inserters coming in the belt. So now we're producing greens. And I'm going to put them in. Produce faster. Now. Oh, oops. I guess I was shading that off. Oh, wait, no, that's what I was thinking. I had a. I don't know. There we go. So new. Got those, and the inserters coming in the belt. So now we're producing greens. And I'm going to put them in. produce faster greens, and take care of this third alpha. I've gotten too far. Alright, so now I'm getting greens into the loop. So, oops. There we go. Works much better if it's actually set to research that shit. Let me grab a bunch of iron. Need more turrets. Oops, let's pick up some ore. Yeah. Ore bore wants ore. Chicken wings. And you can see like these gaps that are between the iron plates there. Like it's having a hard time filling some of the smaller gaps. That's what I was talking about earlier. We're using a splitter to avoid that problem, because the splitter will insert into the belt no matter how tight the materials are going into that point. See how many kills we have. None. Yep. And we're skipping straight to this. Yep. Oh, fucking hell. Thanks again. Oh, I forgot to grab some walls, but murder some trees. It's all good. Alrighty. Yeah. Up to it here. It's fine. On our bones to and we'll get some walls. And this top part being exposed like that. Oh shit. I lost track of where the hell the walls are being made. So much. And then this area and I. Okay. All of them. But that's walls. But yeah, having this big area up here exposed to where the steam engines pump on. Not very comfortable. Really last wall. No good wall turrets, but something. Yeah, I think I will actually put this turret over here. So if they do come along, then I'm playing this inside the edge most likely, and therefore they're going to grab some iron on the way back to make a couple more turrets and line this up here because they're hungry for the spot. And both of those spots right there are getting polluted on, so those guys are pissed. Huh, I had this one down here, but there's some good. I guess you should do that. Got too much. Yeah, go and do that. And that's greens now. It's green jeans. Cool. So I'm gonna finish bolstering these defenses, and then I'm probably gonna bail because I'm really fucking tired. But the current current design is definitely not optimal. I mean, obviously, I've been spending a lot of this time babbling and looking at stuff, and not really focused on, hey, what's my long-term plan here? But I've gotten this factory into a pretty good position to move to the next stage. And that next stage is going beyond getting the basic loop set up, getting basic research set up, and start actually building efficiencies into the system, start focusing on improving output, increasing the number of intermediate products that are being produced on bulk. I'll probably be focusing on getting the electronic circuits manufacturing in bulk soon. Right now, as you can see, some of the technologies that are now open to me, advanced material processing, so I can go for that, steel furnace. bolster that raw output. Start getting the liquids processing. I'm going to open up mashers now so I can make those ores extend further. Go for the engines, and get those pumps ready because, like I said, there's next level steam engine equipment that I'll be able to unlock to be able to get better energy production from steam engines. And then, of course, there's the solar panels and the accumulation. You can see there's three layers, levels of solar panels. There's also 3 levels of accumulators. So having the greens open now opens a lot of possibilities for taking the base to the next level. Right now, it's rudimentary. There's not much production going on. It's really just trying to get those necessities in place to make it safe and to be able to move to something new. Now, like even without blues, there's a lot of possibilities in place for making a very, very large factory. Trains are now in the equation. Laser turrets will be possible. So I'll start. You can crawl enemy bases using gun turrets. It is annoying as fuck, just because you have to constantly load the damn things. Laser turrets, and like I'll probably continue to use gun turrets for primary defense. Although 5 Dims does have higher levels of laser turrets, which makes it worth relying on those as well. But even if you're using gun turrets for base defense, laser turrets for crawling is still dominant because you just lay the turrets down and watch shit die, and it's great. And yeah, there's nearby deposits outside the base, so probably going to want to start creating an outpost of those. So lots of good stuff in the pipeline now that the prerequisites for getting to them have been filled. So now it's kind of tricky. And hell, there's even cool shit like Tool Belt. Get that second quick bar, which is nice. So got some options. Not really sure which direction I want to head in right this second. Probably go with turrets too, because I'm obviously having to lay down some turrets. This will have a hell of a lot more damage. So, if I gotta just have those turrets in place to hold these dumb bastards back for a while I build up my base, then I can go that route. But man, I do love getting logistics too. I just like being able to get beyond that basic logistics equipment that's so slow, and slow belts and the underground belts and the splitters that are so slow. Even the pipes. 5Dim has copper and steel pipes, so when you start getting logistics upgrades, you can also upgrade your piping to get more fluids through. So now is where the base can actually start to grow. Just getting to that point can be quite a challenge, and having to do so much stuff by hand, and then having to deal with the upcoming incursion of the douchebags. So this is a good place. If you're a veteran Factorio player, obviously this is still really, really, really early stage stuff. I mean, you're so far from the vast swaths of concrete and the miles and miles of train tracks. But for a new player to Factorio, this is kind of a victory point, because getting to the manufacture of green research alone uncovers a lot of possibilities that a lot of beginners just don't really realize are in the game. I really see the belts from robots and shit like that. It's like, okay, well, what am I really going to be building as far as complexity? This is where you start to find it. Speaking of the robots, is where you unlock those. So now logistics becomes a factor. Trains become a factor. Liquids become a factor. This is where it becomes fun for me. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who find the beginning stage of the game fun. Maybe they like going for optimal path. Maybe there's sort of people who play something like Path of Exile for the race events or something like that. And so it's like they don't mind going through the same thing over and over again. Just looking for that little more bit of optimization. the beginning part, I'm not a fan of it anymore. Been through it enough times that I want to get to this part of it where I can start focusing more on optimizing the base rather than simply making the fucking thing function. So that's why, like, now I'm excited. That's why I kind of have to cut myself off now because I've been going for hours, and well, that's how Factorio works. It's like as soon as you get in, oh shit, son. Hope you ain't got no life to live. But I do want to just one more thing. It's like Civilization, just one more time. But I do want to at least get the base reinforced a little more, just so I feel comfortable that next time I log in, I'm not going to immediately be in some kind of fucking emergency when binders are rolling about the Steam engine. So that was that long-winded explanation just to get to that point. But this is sort of the turning point now. Like I'm about to research my first, green technology, and about to lay down the first like full defensive line. Now that I have all the walls ready for it, I just got to build a few more turrets. I got quite a few bullets, so I'm good there. Oops. Cool. So speaking of the turrets, copper plate. I actually used up all that copper plate. I got quite a few turrets. Now, I'm actually going to wait for turrets 2 to finish before I build any, because that's going to give me much, much better gun turrets than turrets 1. I'll pick up some of this steel, because I think I actually need it. It's not being used for anything else, so make some room for those. Look at how the furnaces are completely unloading like Rapido. That's what I was talking about before, how you want your materials to be backed up. Because now it's immediately filling the belt back up. I was able to do a massive grab without completely killing the supply. This isn't real world manufacturing where you're worried about optimizing your costs or any of that bullshit. It's all about cramming as much output as you possibly can. If you're a student of just-in-time supply or anything like that, let that shit go. This ain't the place for it. In Factorio, it's make more. No, make more. Well, I have enough. No, you don't. Make more. I have enough tanks. You know what? Fuck that. Build assemblers to get tanks rolling out. Bit of an exaggeration, but only a bit. Alright, so now you see I got level 2 gun turrets. I'm going to roll a couple of them bad boys out, to lay down a much faster hurting on these bricks. And I'm going to roll out quite a few. I need more minutes. And to fuel them. Because I'm going to throw some bullets at these. Now, this isn't nearly enough bullets to carry off long term. But like I said before, now that I have the lines built out and get this set up, I can run a belt in behind here. Sure. Yeah, just the wall. Now that I have the full belt being run, I can optimize the ore production or the metals production and get a transport belt running behind here that actually contains ammunition and get these things automated, which will greatly optimize things. Actually, feel better having more ammunition. A gun turret without ammunition is just a target. Yeah, go put some more of these level 2s down over on this area. Let's get slapped around a bit. I'm going to have to bump the outputs up on these later. But that's the nice thing. It's like now I can focus on optimization. It's like, alright, we're going to put more furnaces down and build the advanced furnaces to... Why are you not using, you son of a bitch? Speaking of that, and there's a good reason why I want stone brick production to be maintained and not just have it all go into the walls, because we need stone bricks for the furnace production. Or for the steel furnace production, I should be more specific. They're not coming in here, that's interesting. They must be going straight for the and then run through the heat pump. You must be going straight for the power station, which I understand. Ooh, considering where these have been coming in from, I think they're actually coming this way. Do you have any kills? Oh, I was surprised. Let's go ahead off. Yeah. Given where they're coming in at, makes me wonder. Good without bullets. Nobody no good. Come on now. Got a machine gun with lots of bullets. Some bullets. Alright, we got 3 more turrets and then we'll have a bullets. Yeah. You know what? Coal. I can fix that. So, then again, we need to run an ammo line along this wall anyway, so I'm going to just keep that motherfucking thing on the bag. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a miner on this coal field. This one. And I'm going to feed it, or this one. Shit. Too well. So this is actually not. Alright. Eventually, we're going to make this one. But I'm going to set it up so that maybe not right this second, but eventually. I'll build a road coming down behind these turrets, and then just have like 2 furnaces up here. You know, they just are producing iron plates for the sake of producing ammunition. So. But yeah, so then gonna run no. Oops. And I could actually just stick a furnace here, create plates, send it over the top to an assembler here. But I don't have a fire. Yeah, this side is getting hit hard, but it's up here. They're coming from here, that's kind of strange. They could run this way, especially if they're heading to these miners, because they head for sources of pollution. It still seems a bit weird. Just a little weird. Freaking out about it. But then I can also do an underground jump up here, put furnace here, furnace here. Those will both produce iron plates, which I can then shoot off there, and I'll have 2 of them producing plates, run an assembler, run a belt behind here that feeds the ammo, put them in some wood. So I got options. I don't want to feed iron plates all the way from over here back over just to build ammo. It's fucking crazy. Just trying to think if there's anything else I want to knock out and get this segment. And I've got a complete wall running around my compound. Oh, this fucking spot here is actually exposed. That's not good. Yep. I'm just going to feel better having a turret here. Unturreted wall is just a thing. Slows them down slightly. Only slightly. I mean, Jesus, look at the damage done on these walls. Doing a turret shooting at them. So, yeah. Get much, much better. So yeah, all walls will need turrets, even if they don't seem like likely targets, because they only have to get through once to completely fuck things up. But at this point, pretty good. So I'm gonna call it a night. This has been fun. This is sitting here talking to myself for God only knows how many hours. Maybe somebody will end up watching some of this, recording and throw it up on YouTube or some shit. Maybe somebody can just get some ideas off of starting out, or at least, have a little more of a comfort level with getting started in Factorio, because I think that a lot of people approach this game and get overwhelmed quickly by the complexity of it. And I mean, I've worked with complex systems for years. That's why I'm an IT systems engineer. You learn to eat the elephant one bite at a time, as they like to say in the corporate world. Just try to tackle one piece at a time. Understand, oh, I need this now. Okay. Let me find out what part of that I'll do right this second. Like when I needed to build green science. In truth, all I really needed was red or copper and iron plates. But from there, it's like, okay, well, now I need iron gears, because both of the things that go into green science require iron gears. Well, then both of those things also require iron plates. One of them also requires electronic circuits. Okay, cool. I can feed all that shit. No problem. Then just figure out how you want to bring it all together. Doing it elegantly so that you're taking up the least amount of space and able to rapidly expand. Like now, I can build out all of the science output that I'll ever need for the rest of this factory's lifespan, based upon what I started with. That's the kind of thing you end up learning to do. After you've played a few times, built out a few factories, and fucked up a few times. And even after you fuck up, you find ways to get around it because you learn the mechanics and understand how it works. This is not optimal by any stretch. I may end up re-architecting this, which won't be difficult. Just have to do shit out a little bit. But yeah, you learn to understand how the stuff works, and then makes your life a lot easier. And as you can see inside here, all I have to do is just add some labs, and my research is going to shoot through the roof because I have all the materials in place to get it working. I have enough power to support more labs? Not really. Gotta get more steam engine going. So that's one thing that you're going to have to learn to keep in mind, is that there's a lot of dependencies. I took out one of the major dependencies that ends up becoming a driving factor for getting things done in this game. The quest for raw materials. I took that completely off the list. I don't even have to worry about those because I'm running endless resources. But when you're playing default, like most of the time when I'm playing, I'm not playing endless resources. So this is like luxury, man. Like I got nothing to worry about. This is easy mode. But yeah, without that in play, it's a lot more complicated. Because now you have to worry about, oh, okay, what happens when this is no longer available? Now this is a nice big copper patch when we get this. This coal patch would be fucking obliterated in a standard game. And I haven't run into any others. I don't think there are any others in this entire little, I don't know what you call that kind of landmass. It's not a peninsula, technically, I suppose, because it sits between land. But anyhow, yeah, I'd be hurting for coal. So suddenly it's like, all right, well, what do I do when my power starts to run low? I'd be chopping trees and stuffing wood into these damn boilers. Now, fortunately, I have a lot of, the gun turrets. As long as I stash enough iron to keep bullets going for a while, I'll be okay. But it's just a major consideration you have to worry about playing. And so, I think that's part of the fun of it, is trying to stay ahead of all these things. But I also understand how it can become a sense of frustration. So, just try to be patient. And get comfortable with the mechanics, get comfortable with the recipes, because eventually you'll learn them, and so you'll know, oh shit, I need to make sure that I have enough copper for this, this, and this. I don't need copper now, but I will need shitloads later, and etc. and so on. And don't be afraid to fuck up, because you're gonna. It's all part of playing Factorio. It's gonna happen. You're gonna do it, and your base is gonna get overrun, and biters gonna eat your face. Oh well. There's no wrong way to play, so just start up another game and hit up forums or the subreddit or anything like that and get some ideas. There's lots of people out there who are sharing all sorts of shit. There's streamers out there who are definitely a hell of a lot better than I ever will be. They actually do the math, and they're certainly more entertaining than I am. This is good funs. But I think that, more than anything, just experiment. Find your own path. Find things that work for you, that you enjoy doing. Because everybody's going to get something different out of Factorio. Whether it's you're like building complex train networks or optimizing belt pathways or anything like that. Maybe you like annihilating biters by the shitloads. There are people who play with max settings on that. So don't sweat it, and eventually, build some pretty impressive shit. Have your own little factory. Alright, peace out, yo. I'm tired. I'm going to bed now.